Well, a very good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Roots Hall. I think we're in Roots Hall. It could have been Everest, but I think Roots Hall it is. And delighted to bring you this Charlton TV coverage of the last pre-season friendly before we kick off the season in anger next week at home to Watford. Lost it there for a second. It's altitude sickness, that's what it is. And delighted also to have along with Tommy for the first time in this pre-season. Steve Brown, how are you doing, Steve?
I'm very, very well, thank you, Terence.
Good. It's a delight to have you.
Delight to climb 6 flights to get to a commentary position with a harness on. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And we were saying it's our first time in a harness, I think, isn't it?
In 35 years in football, I've never had to don a harness to get to a commentary position, no.
But not even in other walks of life, you've never.
I've had harnesses on in walks of life, just never to get to a commentary position at a football match. Yeah.
I'm not sure I've ever had a harness on full stop.
Oh yeah, no, I've done zip wires and things.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a nutcase. That's probably
well, I don't mind a bit of Don't mind a bit of that. Bit of adventure.
Well, it's an experience that, it's something that we can moan about later. But it's absolute pleasure to be here, and delighted that we're going to bring you this commentary. We've got, you had a good summer so far?
Yeah, had a great summer. I obviously started with a promotion to the Championship, which is fantastic, and then I'd just come back from 3 weeks in Vietnam, and that was lovely. Really enjoyed my time there. Very good culture, very friendly people. Yeah.
Good.
Had a great summer.
Well, and were you watching the activities from afar as to what was happening at Charlton, the signings, and we're not quite double figures, but we're not far off it. And so, you're viewing it. I'm not going to prompt you. What, your view on the signings and the transfer window that we've taken place so far? Still a bit of time to go. Of course.
Rather than go into each one individually, what I would say is it's very encouraging that the board have backed Nathan with the finances to be able to make 8, 9, 10 signings, and clearly they have done everything in their power to make Nathan have a squad going into a Championship season that was or is probably a lot stronger in depth than it was the last time we were in the Championship, and that's credit to the ownership and the board of directors who have obviously sat down and said, look, if you look at the cycle of going up into the Championship last time, we were in a much different position. And the lessons have to be learnt that coming back down could cost you 5-6 years in League One, which is catastrophic for a club like Charlton Athletic. So I think the right thing to do is do what has been done, but that still takes deep pockets, that still takes a commitment, and I think the board have shown exactly that, a commitment and deep pockets to make sure that we've got strength in depth and given ourselves the best chance to stay in this league next year.
And that's the key, the best chance. I mean, nobody's got a crystal ball. Nobody knows if the 9 signings that we've made are all going to be click and make a difference all at the same time, or where they fit in. Do they fit in as starters? Do they fit in as cover? That's only going to transpire, and we'll suss that out as the season progresses. But any standout? I mean, obviously, when you look at it, maybe because of who they are, Kelman and Apter would, in terms of the excitement they could bring to the side, tend to be the standout ones. But in terms of generally the players that have come in, do you know much about those players? I mean, have you had an experience of seeing any of those players in the past, or can you say you think that player is really going to make a difference to us? Is it because for me, although I've seen them play a couple of times against us, I wouldn't have a real working knowledge of the players. Yeah,
well, the one thing we don't do when we're commentating is we very much concentrate on Charlton Athletic,
exactly,
and it doesn't matter who we're playing. Someone might catch your eye every now and again. You might have one outstanding performance where you walk away, we're driving home or on the train and we go, he was decent today. But in the main, no, we don't concentrate on opposition players, you, me or Greg or anybody else doing the comms. But what I would say is, it's not done by chance. There is a recruitment strategy in place now that I think's in the best place it's been for a long time. And what I would say is, if you look at how we were the last time we came out of the Championship back down into League One, I think it's fair to say, historically, we've been pretty poor on our recruitment. If 14 came in the summer, 12 were gone by the next summer, and quite often 6 or 7 that you brought in were gone as well, which tells you recruitment isn't good. What we're seeing here is a completely different approach to how we're bringing in players. The age of some of these is great. You've got a bit of experience in there with 2 or 3 of the players. You've got a bit of youth in there. You've got some Championship experience in there, and you've got League One players that need to step up and prove themselves in the Championships. You've got a little bit of everything. But what I would say is, from the 8 or 9 signings we've made, if we can keep 4 or 5 of them this season and beyond, you're already in a better place than we were in previous windows. And I think that's what the board, Nathan and all the guys in recruitment are driving towards. We don't want this multiple turnover. You can understand why it's 9 this year. We're going into a championship season where the substitutes bench gets bigger. We need a lot more strength in depth, and we need to step up to the plate and stay in this league. So I think it's been a brilliant summer. I think there's 1 or 2 exciting players in there that we can't wait to see going forward. There's also some experienced players in there that we need to make sure that they pass on that experience to the younger players so that we're a very tight-knit group.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned before about players that we've come away from games, and as you say, we concentrate generally on Charlton players. But I think Kelman probably fits into the category of players that you go, oh, he's a good player. And I'd say Harvey Nibbs as well, having played Reading in the past, and you've seen Harvey Nibbs and you think, oh, no, he's actually a good player. So out of that, I haven't really seen too many of the other ones. But since pre-season started, I've been impressed with Amari Bell. I think he's looked composed and comfortable on the ball when he's played, admittedly mostly against opposition, with the exception of Tuesday night, against opposition that is you'd expect Charlton players to look okay, and I guess you'd include this afternoon into that category as well, because obviously Southend from the National League will put up a stern test, because I don't know, I'll ask you this later actually, but you'd imagine that Southend players in the National League will want to impress as much as possible against a team from a higher division. It's a bit like a cup game in some respects, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, if you want me to be a little bit picky, I wouldn't have gone for a national conference side the week before, and only Nathan can tell you why that's the case. Maybe we didn't have a choice, but the fact of the matter is I would have guessed before pre-season started we would have gone slightly stronger the week before the opening of a championship campaign, but that's not what we've got. We've got Southend United. What Nathan's got to do very much so is concentrate on where the 11 he puts out and where they are in terms of whatever he picks next weekend. Has just got to be singing from the same hymn sheet and understand all the principles of play that he's put in place over pre-season, because that is generally what pre-season is for. I think I've said this on air before, over multiple seasons when we cover games pre-season. That doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Fans might think it matters. They might think it's better to win than lose, but ultimately it is all about getting as many players fit and ready and healthy for that first game against Watford, and making sure that all the principles that Nathan wants to decide from the goalkeeper through to the back line, through to how we want to press at the front, are starting to take shape and the players understand it as a group. And if you can get to that point when we kick off and you've done as much work as you can, then it transfers onto the players and their performances. But as a manager, you're trying to pack so much work and detail into a 6-week window that sometimes it's too much for players to take on. And you just hope that all the messages are getting through. And on top of that, you've got the fitness levels have to be almost peak. And I've said this before as well, you won't really get peak until you start playing the 90 minutes. And it takes 3 or 4 games for you to get there. And then on top of that, you've got all the set pieces, the dead balls, the regains and all that to work on. So there's an awful amount going on in pre-season. And the last thing you need to worry about is what 11's going to be picked next week. Just let Nathan do his job and hope that as a group they're more than ready come Watford.
Well, we certainly hope that's the case. Again, this is the last pre-season game before that game takes place, but we played a game Tuesday night, by the way, and it was at Ipswich at Colchester. It was another curious commentary position up on a roof, but let's just take a look at the highlights of that game on Tuesday night against a strong Ipswich Town side, Brownie, that had come down from the Premier League, and so you could tell that they had a bit something about them in that game. They pressed us high. They didn't give us time on the ball. So I think, as a contest, and we're looking at the highlights. Sadly, we can't see the highlights. We're in a position now where we haven't got television coverage. But as a workout, as a method, the first half when it was 0-0 at half time. Defensively, we had to be on our mettle in that first half. That's not a bad thing, is it? It's because you put up against a side that's really pressing with good quality. That's a learning curve, isn't it? Yeah, and actually, if you're going to test yourself against a very tough side, do it, the week before. And again, I'm not putting down Southend here. I'm not, but I just thought we might go a
well, no, the league's kicked off. So it's difficult. This is what I'm saying. When you're trying to plan a pre-season and the League One and League Two campaigns kicked off, maybe you go a foreign side, maybe. But what I would say is that the Ipswich test is a great one, and if you're going to make your mistakes, make them during those games and in pre-season, so that you give your manager an opportunity to go, okay, analysis room, this is what I liked, this is what I didn't, and this is what we're going to have to avoid on Saturday. So there'll be lots of data and lots of analysis that Nathan can use from Tuesday night's game at Ipswich that it might not benefit him so much today, but it will certainly benefit him next week against Watford.
Well, Tento Alafi was the goal scorer on Tuesday night. Good opportunist goal, ball off the crossbar, and lovely flick on from Daniel Cano in the first place to create it from the Sonny Carey ball in. And it was the Ipswich goal offside. It's a tough one to call. It was again, we didn't have the benefit of replays, so it was something that we couldn't tell. Looked a yard or two offside, but nobody saw the movement before. Andy could have timed it perfectly. Who knows? But even so, again, I thought not second half side, the second side that came out, which pretty much the side that will start this afternoon, put in a good shift, I thought, and actually gave Ipswich a decent competition in that second half, and we came close a couple of times. Their keeper had to make a couple of sharp saves, to be fair, as did Kaminski in the first half. So I think all in all, Nathan will see that as a decent run out, personally.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you know, if you look at games and go, well, we did okay against Ipswich because we won 2-1, it's immaterial. Yeah. It really is, truthfully. Honestly, I can tell you from experience, it makes very little difference to the outcome of that first game, how you've got on in pre-season. I have been in pre-seasons where we've dominated and beaten everybody and we had a dreadful start, and I've also been in pre-seasons where you've drawn at Welling and not won a game and we've went 10 unbeaten for the first 10 league games. So there is very little you can take from it, and like I said, I know I'm repeating myself, but it's about getting the messages through to the 25 players or so, because during pre-season you don't really know exactly what your 11 is until you get closer to that first Saturday. So you have to try and get those messages through to every single player. It's not easy to do, it really isn't, because some people that are feeling a bit left out, and they will understand already, they'll have a feeling. I used to get a feeling if I was going to start or not a couple of weeks before. You've got to keep them involved, you've got to keep them on side, because you just think, I'm not starting here, there's 4 centre halves and I don't see myself in the first 2, and it's those guys you've got to make sure that they're still taking on board everything, because you get an injury in that last week and that guy's in, he's got to be up to speed.
Well, we mentioned Tanto Alafe, and our new striker was alongside Matty Godden on Tuesday night, because he went to Blue Water in the week to have a signing, and we're going to just play a short clip of that Blue Water meeting with the fans.
So we had a signing session at Blue Water today in our pop-up shop, which has gone really well, just to try and get fans engaged for the upcoming season, because obviously we've got a big challenge ahead being in the Championship. But no, it's been good. We've had a good turnout and the boys seem to have really enjoyed it, so it's been good.
Yeah, loved it. It's important. It's an important part of the club and how I feel about the club as well. It's important to meet the fans and give them something back. And yeah, it's nice to come and see this place as well. I've not seen it since it's opened. I'm local to here, but I've not been in here yet. And yeah, what they're doing here is brilliant.
It's always nice meeting fans. It's very welcoming as well, because it's my first experience seeing something like this, so they all welcome me to the club. So no, it's like a homely, you can tell it's a family orientated club, so it's been good.
We can't wait for next season. We've got season tickets. So obviously back in the Championship, really excited. London derbies and that sort of thing. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
So there we are. That was, excuse me, Matty Godden and Tanto Alafe at the Blue Water opening of. Well, not opening. That's not true. They were at Blue Water, meeting the fans, doing a few signatures and photos, which is brilliant to see. And the Blue Water store, the new store, in fact, that was opened by the legend that is. Charlotte Richardson, I think it was.
Yeah, I was going to say, Curbs didn't do it.
Alongside Brownie, and yes, that's how far you've come, my friend.
Yeah.
I mean, time was you wouldn't have set foot in Blue Water. Now you're opening stores. I mean, now you'd probably
not by choice.
You'd probably be at the opening of an envelope now.
When you receive the text or the call, and you go, I really, really, really don't want to do that. Not because it's just not something I'm comfortable with. But you know what? Everybody else seemed to be on holiday in a way and enjoyed themselves, and it was left out. I was about 73rd choice.
Oh no, I think I'd been below you, no question about it.
But I was a long way down, and anyway,
but it wasn't just the opening. So you was a model as well, by the way, weren't you? You were modelling clothes.
I don't remember modelling.
I think you were. Did you get extra for that?
I didn't. No, I didn't. No. The only extra I got was shame. Yeah.
But it's a good event. Great. I mean,
look.
A shop in Blue Water.
Yeah.
It is down the road. It is in an area where there's a lot of Charlton fans. I used to live down that way, so I know there's a lot of Charlton fans. And that, if anything, shows you the sort of progression we have as a club, that we can, we're prepared to open up a shop in Blue Water so people from that neck of the woods can buy merchandise.
And it's a great idea, because it's born out of an idea, isn't it? And actually then it has to be followed through, and then somebody has to commit to it. And actually it's given people the opportunity to live, maybe because that last little bit, especially I know this shouldn't make a difference, but you've got that little congestion charge you've got to pay if you come across the M25 and in, and there's another $12.50 on top, and you save that by popping into Blue Water. So if you're from down in the Kent region, the club are trying to make it as accessible and as easy as they can for people to just pop into that shop. And it was good. I haven't seen any shots, but I'd imagine with those two there it was quite busy, I'd imagine. Matty's always good for an appearance and speaks very, very well when he's on air. But I went in. I was curious. It was opened on a Thursday morning when the kids were all at school. Perhaps I thought Saturday morning. I'm no commercial manager, but I would have thought a Saturday morning would have been maybe a little bit better because it was quite quiet the opening day. But hopefully it's gone well.
They're probably worried about the crowd that you draw in, and Blue Water couldn't cope. Blue Water probably got in touch with the club and said, no, don't bring Brownie down. We can't have the number. We can't have that added security. The cost.
We don't want the security cost. Yeah, I understand.
And your demands, obviously, helipad and all that sort of stuff.
My demands of a latte with a shot of caramel.
You're a star. You know. Right. Recently, we've had a couple of new signings, of course, and I'm not talking about the one from yesterday. I'm talking about a little while ago now, Charlie Kelman. He joined the Addicts last Sunday. So let's take a look behind that particular signing.
Yeah, it's changed quite a bit. All of this building's new here.
No, when I was here before, it was the other building. I used to get changed.
Yeah, in the academy one, and then this was a football. I remember years ago, my son played on there.
Medium, how about that?
Perfect.
There you go. Number 23, that all right for now?
Yes, that's the number I wanted.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, doing well, haven't we? Good start.
He's ready.
He's ready. Good in here as well.
These are like swim shorts, aren't they?
Yeah. There's a great material, isn't there?
They're on the tight side. If you could pop your top off for the cameras and face that way.
So no fractures. When you sat up then, did you feel any discomfort in there?
Good. I think we're happy. Nicely. I'll take you in to see the other guys. Pop your socks and trainers and do a few physical tests with you.
Obviously playing in the Championship, are you excited?
I'm excited. Really feel like I'm ready for it now. My best shot. Crazy boost matches. Ideally, I've just had some spin for it. It's going to make everything that good.
Depending on
Whenever you're ready, we'll go again. Good. And push out for me. Push, 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 push. And done. Good.
What did you make of the Valley last season?
Good, nice. I played there a few times.
What did you think of the atmosphere?
Yeah, it's top. It's top. We played them at the second, I think it was the first home game of the season for them. Yeah, it was top. Top. No complaints.
Bosh.
Excellent, well done. Okay, I don't think you need more than that. That's perfect.
And then from there to where?
America? Where in America? Did you like that? What age were you? On your right, or your family? Your dad lives there? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think so. Finally.
So, just so you know, so there's the restaurant's there where you come for obviously breakfast, lunch. This is the main offices where the meeting room is as well.
Do you know any of the boys already here, or?
No, none. So I played against them a few times last year. So.
What do you make of them?
Yeah, it's a good squad. Defensively solid, and obviously going forward very, very good as well. So I'm excited to learn from Matty as well. And just hopefully get my head down, score some goals, and enjoy my time.
You said you've heard good things about the gaffer. What are you expecting from him?
Fiery character, very passionate, someone who wants to develop players and win games, and I enjoy winning, so hopefully we can do that.
I believe you spoke quite highly of Matty Godden recently. What do you make of him as a player?
He's top, his movement. I spoke to a few of the boys that I know obviously when I was coming here, and they just said he's one of the best in the game at his movement and scoring goals, so I just want to learn, be a sponge, and hopefully I can add that to my game.
Alright, so nice big smiles looking down the lens. And now if you pretend to sign it, so look down at the contract. Yep, you got that one. So now we're going to shoot some portraits on the backdrop here, all in this shirt.
What do you make of the kit?
It's nice, isn't it?
You've seen the away kit as well?
White and blue. Yeah. What about the phone kit?
Can't reveal that just yet, I'm afraid.
Perfect. Last year, what was your favourite celebration?
I always do the shark.
Okay, let's go through it.
Yeah.
If you like point into camera and stuff like that.
It's hard to Luke Skywalker behind me. A little bit higher. Perfect.
So there we are. That was the backstory to the Charlie Kelman signing, and of course since then we've added Harvey Nibbs to the equation. So, which is that 10 now? I've lost count. Is it 10? I think
I'm going to go 9.
10. Is it 9 or 10?
Oh, I'll go 9.
Okay. I've lost count. We'll add them up in a minute, and we'll update you as we go. But roughly 9 or 10. We've got the teams, and we're going to show those shortly. I'll read you out the teams as the players come out. The Charlton players just finishing their pre-match warm-up and heading back towards the tunnel. But it's a decent afternoon for football, actually. Clouds are quite high. Doesn't look like there's going to be any rain, which is famous last words. I know, and that's probably just talked that in, commentators curse and all that. Crowd is as you'd expect on a pre-season. Although Tuesday night it was very busy. Tuesday, a lot of Ipswich fans. Yeah, a lot of Ipswich fans made the trip down to Colchester, and a decent amount of Charlton fans. The trip was in the opposite direction. It's only it's only 15 minutes away from Ipswich, so it's in that territory. And similarly, there's a decent amount of Charlton fans away to our left-hand side, in the stand away to our left. It doesn't look like the stand that we're in, or above, I should say, not in, is holding any fans at all. So looks like the Southend fans are in the Frank Walton stand away to our right, the top tier, and then the main stand, the Foxy East stand, immediately opposite where we are. Which you can probably see from the camera angle, which is where we normally are, in the greenhouse at the back.
Yeah, I enjoyed the FA Cup tie in there.
I'm going to remind you because I'll remind you of that because when you knew you were coming to Southend for your first pre-season, and the game said, "We're not in the box, are we?"
No,
yeah, careful what you wish for.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, it's much nicer. I think Waller's over there, isn't he? Yeah, James Waller's over there. He's having a great time.
Yeah, he's not bringing us a team sheet.
No, he has texted us one, which is lovely.
Yeah, bless him. So we're just waiting for kick-off now. Where are we now? We're about 5 minutes away. And I'm going to ask you this, probably delve into this a bit more later on, maybe at half-time when we come back from a little short break. But you said, you've said it a numerous amount of times about, even though you've had your pre-season, you're not really up to speed for a few weeks. But
some are.
Yeah, I mean, that's
are.
exactly the question I was going to ask. Are there annoying players, really frustratingly annoying players who go away and drink what they like and eat what they like, come back and are as fit as a butcher's dog?
Yeah, absolutely. Sean Newton never did a press-up, a sit-up, a weight in his life, and had the most incredible physique. And that, for someone who tried and didn't have a very good physique, is extremely frustrating. And it's the same with the fitness levels. John Robinson was freakishly fit. In fact, I look back and I think to myself how many players we had that were just so fit stamina-wise. There was at least half a dozen that were off the chart. John Robinson being right up there.
It's the curse that some of us have to live with, obviously.
Yeah, Rufus was another one. Rufus could run all day, and he could. I mean, I remember when he done his cruciate. He came back from his cruciate ligament injury, his ACL. He literally had 2 weeks training, Bosch, and he was playing at Spurs. And I don't know if you remember when he went through the back
first
of
tackle. Absolutely, I remember.
He went through the back of Les, and Les is built like an outhouse, a brick outhouse, and Richard left him in a crumpled heap.
The noise of that challenge was only surpassed by the wincing noises from everybody.
Yeah, and that's what Richard could do, in terms of physicality, in terms of stamina, fitness-wise. But Solarco was extremely fit. Keith Jones was incredible. Kinsella, Parker. We had so many incredibly fit players stamina-wise. It was a bit freaky. But then you have people like myself who I'm not putting myself down on purpose here. It's trying to give you an indication as a supporter that I could miss a month and I'd need 2 weeks, and I had to train how I played. Some people didn't. They could just drift through training a little bit, 70%, and they could just turn it on a match day. They could go 100%. I had to train 100% because I had to keep my fitness levels peak to then perform peak on a Saturday. So it is down to the individual, and some are very, very fortunate and some aren't.
And is that, in that respect, if you're a manager, let's say you Curbs, and you have to pick the side for the first couple of weeks, is that something he's got to bear in mind? Because even playing people out of position, if he knows that some players are fitter than others? Yeah,
I mean, you all get to a level of fitness that's good enough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're just at different levels to the people around you. If you're not going to go into a manager, leading up to the first game and go, I just don't feel like I'm ready for this one, Gaffer. If he picks you, you're going to have to do your best. But I always used to feel like you get to 70 minutes in those first 3 or 4 games and you were struggling. It was digging deep. But what you knew was when you looked across at your mate who's up against you, he's in the same boat as you. And it's just digging deep within yourself that if he goes again, you've got to match it. And there were games when you get to the end of it and you're cramping up and your knees are swollen and your ankles killing you, and you just had to find a way to be resilient and get through that, because you knew if you did, the next game was easier, the one after that was even easier, and then by September you're flying.
You basically just described me getting up that ladder.
Well, you and me both, mate. You and me both.
I'm going to need to be airlifted out of here on a stretcher. The teams are coming out opposite us, as you can clearly see if you are watching Charlton TV. If you are just listening, teams coming out, heading towards the centre circle, where they'll pause and go either side of the halfway line to do the traditional handshakes. And as they do, I shall read you out the two sides, the starting sides at least. We'll go through the second string teams, or second string, that's not fair, second teams, as and when they appear. So we'll start with our hosts, Southend United. In goal for them, number 30, Colin Andengendi. At number 2, Gus Scott Morris. 3, the captain, Nathan Ralph. 6, Ben Goodliff. 8, Noor Hussein. 10, Sam Austin. 11, Josh Walker. 14, Tom Hopper. 16, Harry Taylor. 28, Ollie Coker. And 33, Harry Boys. Your Charlton side will line up with in goal number 1, Thomas Kaminski. 2, Kane Ramsey. 5, Lloyd Jones. 6, Connor Coventry. 7, Therese Campbell. 10, the skipper, Greg Doherty. 14, Sonny Carey. 16, Josh Edwards. 17, Amari Bell. 23, Charlie Kelman, and number 30, Rob Apter. Those are your two starting 11s. As I said, there is a whole raft of changes that will probably happen, probably in the second half at some point, and we'll read you out those teams as and when they make the appearance. There are a couple of trialists. I'm assuming they're the same. I haven't had the word, but I'm assuming they're the same 2 trialists that we've had in the previous few games. Ought to thank, we should, NordVPN for their sponsorship of today's stream. As, the 2 captains in the centre circle will decide ends and kickoffs. We are in that position now. Looks like we're going to stay as we are, with Charlton defending the end to where the Charlton fans are sitting, on that way to our left-hand side, which probably means Southend are going to have the kickoff. It's Ollie Coker for Southend, who's going to get proceedings underway here at Roots Hall. Referee for this afternoon, just looking, is Robert Clausen. He's just checking his assistants, Andrew Crossley and Luce Pinchback, and we'll get the game underway here. We'll go backwards to Ralph, sends it forward. Jones, his first header of the competition, and he picks it up again, the dropping ball, trying to send that Therese Campbell on his way, but he's put far too much on it, and it will go harmlessly through to Ndingendi. Sending his players away, so he's going to send this long as well. Heading down the Charlton left-hand side, Jones again looking to get there. Look forward again by Southend, and just a slip coming in from Walker, so he can't control it. Charlton and Kelman trying to do likewise, but Southend just deal with it and send it away. Bell will have to deal with this. Plays better safe than sorry, just touches it out. It'll be a Southend throw, which Scott Morris comes over to take. Scott Morris has been player of the year for Southend the last 2 seasons running. Scored 17 goals from right wing back last season.
He likes to get advanced. You can see that already in his early stages, so it makes sense.
There's a long throw coming into the Charlton penalty area. Doherty with a header away, headed back in. Doherty again, looks like he got nudged out of the way there, but the referee is allowing play to go on, and Southend have it back, and then a foul coming in from Kelman. Upends Coker. Southend will have a free kick, but Charlton captain just glancing towards the referee, felt he should have had a foul himself.
He should have done. Yeah, it was a little nudge that the referee missed, but now we're defending, and do you know what? These games are good in that respect still. We've seen a long throw come in, we've had to deal with it, so it's going to sharpen us up set piece wise. Got to get your jobs done nice and early, organise, communicate.
Coker over the ball. Every Charlton player back in and around the penalty area. Apt to the lone player in a wall, which looks a tad pointless to me at this stage, but Coker sends it in. It's a header coming in from Boys. Comfortable for Kaminski to deal with, but Charlton will be concerned that the free header was there in the first place.
A little, but the ball was swinging away from goal. It bounced harmlessly into Kaminski. But yeah, again, you know, these are why pre-seasons can't be too, you know, you're just finding your feet. But like you said, maybe a little bit of pressure would have been, you know, more applicable in that, you know, from that set piece. But we are early stages yet, and you can just see the way this game started. It's a little bit lackadaisical.
Yeah, Bell was upended by Walker for a Charlton free kick, which was taken short and quickly, but pressure that Southend put under meant that the clearance from Kaminski, who got the ball back from Ramsey, gone straight out of play for a Southend throw, which has been taken and back now to Goodliff. That's good pressure from Therese Campbell on Taylor, but illegal pressure according to the referee. And again, Sonny Carey this time turning around, looking at the referee and giving him daggers. Didn't think that was a foul.
Yeah, but good pressure. Yeah, and when you think about how we were last year as a side, Nathan, we're very keen for Kelman and Campbell to start that pressure and apply it as soon as they can. There'll be trigger points.
Southend trying to swing it across to their left-hand side. It's well read by Ramsey. Gets there first. Has to put his header out of play for a throw-in, just inside the Charlton half. Boys will throw it backwards to the masked Nathan Ralph, captain. Into Goodliff, across to the right-hand side now. Scott Morris. Down the line he goes. Coker, just a loose touch, and it's allowed Doherty to step in and win the ball back for Charlton. Edwards goes back to Bell, who sends it forward. Looking for Kelman, doesn't reach him. Cleared away by Goodliff. Bell with overly tight attention to Tom Hopper, and concedes the free kick 10 yards or so inside the Charlton half on the right hand side. It's again a cause for Charlton to funnel back and pretty much everybody again is in the vicinity of the edge of the Charlton penalty area. As Coker prepares to send this in from the Southend right. In it comes towards the far side of the penalty area. There's a free header back there. And, the ball now in. Goodliff with a shot. And, see who the Charlton player got in the way, but it's a decent block in the end and cleared away. But again, space in the box. This time it was Ralph getting on the end of the cross, the free kick. Charlton back in possession as Apter picks up the loose clearance from the Southend keeper. Jones. He's got Ramsey to his right, goes through the middle, and it's a fizzed one at Campbell, but he's done well to control it, and he's found Edwards to his left-hand side. Edwards looks up, thought about an early cross, but instead holds on. Brings Jones back into it. He's got Ramsey to his right. Apter on the touchline on the right-hand side. Back to Ramsey. As Charlton just keep possession and take the patient route. Bell on the left-hand side. Under pressure, has to go back to Kaminski. He's going to send this forward, but I think he was looking for Carey, but he's overdone that, and Southend clear it. Apter challenging with Ralph. Southend get it forward. Ramsey does well to control it and comes away from Hopper. He's just holding his face there, and the referee wants to just check he's okay because it's a head injury, although I think that might be overstretching the point a little bit.
Yeah, that was a flick in the eye more than a head injury, but just go back to that set piece. You know, in terms of the ball in, you've got a free header for Ralph, and then you've got a free strike from Boys, and actually it presented an opportunity. And although Nathan Jones would be quite relaxed over there in the technical area, you know, he'll be keen for that to be stamped out relatively quickly. We are in the early phase of this game, so you clearly see Charlton are just finding their feet, but I don't think he'll be particularly happy about the free headers that Southend are having in our box at the moment. But you just get the feeling we're not out of second gear yet. We'll get there. You know, it is pre-season at the end of the day.
Charlton take the free kick gently across the back four, and then the ball fizzed forward by Doherty, looking for the run of Carey. And he just got caught on his heel. I think it wasn't deliberate, but he got caught by the defender on his heel and went to ground. He's just limping away from that, so they do have possession back because Carey going to ground obviously didn't catch up with the through ball. There's a long one coming in there for Southend, which Lloyd Jones deals with. Doherty can't get there. So Carey this time though does win it back for Charlton. Coventry now finds Ramsey to his right, Apter making a run, but Ramsey tries to switch it to the left-hand side, looking for Campbell. Can he catch up with it in the left corner? He does. He's got Edwards in support. Edwards. Coventry close by. Back to Edwards on the left-hand side. Looking up to cross it. Does so. Ball into the box. It's a good one. Kelman can't get it. It's just flicked away from him by Goodliff. But Apter will pick it up for Charlton on the right side of the penalty area. Just drifting out a bit. Now back on his left foot. Swings the ball into the box, but it's straight to the keeper.
Yeah. A decent sustained spell of pressure. I thought the first ball in was an excellent ball. You've got to give their centre-half Goodliff a bit of credit for positioning himself well. We had Carey running across the near Kelman centre of the 6-yard box, where you'd expect him to be. But well defended from Southend.
And Dingadee gets his clearance away. Jones deals with it comfortably, finds Ramsey. Inside of him is Coventry. And Maury Bell available to his left. Bell sends it forward again, asking Campbell to chase it in there, and he's got the better momentarily of Taylor. Campbell trying to take Taylor on, but he felt it was fouled. Screaming from the Charlton bench. Referee gives nothing, and then Jones wins the through ball. Attempted through ball. Finds Carey. Carey thought about a shot the first time and then takes it at the second attempt, and probably wishes he'd done so at the first attempt as he drags the shot comfortably wide.
Yeah, definitely a shooting opportunity. That's for certain. Apter was out here with his arms wide, wanted to be fed for a 1v1 out on this right-hand side, but very difficult for someone like Sonny Carey to take that option when he's 28, 27, 26, advancing towards goal with a ball at dead weight. You know, you take your aim, you take your pot shot. He just got it technically wrong, dragged it across, but certainly worth a shot.
Jones is still a little bit upset about that foul or the challenge on Therese Campbell, who's still limping a little bit from that, saying that, you know, because he'll be frustrated if there are any injuries picked up this last game of pre-season.
Well, it's a manager's worst nightmare. Week before, you'd rather have it in the first week and deal with it. You get it today. There's no time to recover from it.
Doherty does well to catch up with the ball before it goes out of play, but his attempted through ball, either looking for Kelman or Campbell, goes straight to the Southend keeper and rolls it out to Ralph, and that's good work from Apter. Steps inside Ralph, who brings him down. Good work.
That's excellent work, actually.
Charlton new boy.
Yeah, it's excellent work. Not just from him either, because he applies the first bit of pressure. The important bit is there isn't an easy ball advanced out to the left in front of him, and Ramsey made up some ground there to make sure that ball was cut out, which then put Ralph in a position where he paused, and that pause allows Apter to apply the pressure. So it's good work all round. An excellent spring from Charlton, excellent pressure.
It's Connor Coventry with the free kick. It's to the right-hand side. 10 or 15 yards infield, just beyond halfway inside the Southend half. Coventry swings it in. It's a deep one. Nobody in a red shirt there, and it's flicked away by, I think it was Taylor who got there first. And there was under no pressure, just flicked it away, and it's going to be a Charlton throw on the far side. Quickly taken into Bell. Back out to Edwards. Edwards, low ball in, is collected and cleared by Hussein. It's a good turn from Walker, and he's created space for Southend, and Ramsey does really well to get back on and on the cover. Oh, and then he's taken out by Walker again, who's loving the challenges in there. But fortunately for Charlton, Ramsey was on hand to get in front of Hopper, who was the furthest man forward for Southend, and saved the day for Charlton momentarily.
Yeah, very good turn from Josh Walker. What I would say is there's no reason for the centre halves of Charlton to back off on that ball out up to Walker. I think somebody should be on him nice and tight to challenge that first ball up. But it was a super turn from the young man, and I thought he picked the wrong pass, because it really did open up for Southend there. They've let us off a little bit with the ball that he decided to play.
Charlton take the free kick, and it's Jones with the long crossfield ball. Edwards with the control, and it's good control as well. And then try to get the ball almost first time after the chest control, blocked by Scott Morris. It'll be a Charlton corner on the left-hand side. Lovely crossfield ball to pick out Edwards, and even better control from Josh Edwards.
It's the run that's purposeful. I've seen Sonny Carey make advanced runs beyond their back line, and Josh Edwards now, important piece of the jigsaw, extending the opposition back line.
Short corner to Campbell, inside to Apter, who lifts the ball into the box. Jones just can't get there with a header. That's a training ground move that almost came off, but Charlton had possession back, and the retreating Kelman wins it back for Charlton, finds Ramsey in the centre circle, back and across to Coventry. Campbell staying left, inside to Bell. Just left it a little bit short, Campbell, but Charlton still have possession. Switched across to Ramsey. He's got two players for company, Ramsey, so he's out to Apter. Cuts inside. Inside way was blocked though, so Ramsey on hand to receive behind him. Ramsey's got Sonny Carey moving into position, but again, the angle of that wasn't possible, so Jones is the outlet. Jones again maybe looking for a raking pass forward, instead goes right to Ramsey. Jones once more. Now Coventry coming short. Picks out Campbell to his left. Still in her own half here. Southend trying to apply the pressure. Charlton so far avoiding it, but not making any real progress. Now Ramsey back inside to Kaminsky with Connor Coventry in front. He's got space, Connor Coventry, to move into, and does. Now out to Bell. Bell looks forward. Nothing immediately available, so cuts back inside to Coventry. He's now looking forward for the runner, Kelman. Kelman in the box, just too far forward, too far in front of him to get there before it can be claimed by Ndeng and D. But patient build-up from Charlton. Good run from Kelman, just a little bit long.
Yeah, and it was a good drop of the shoulder, actually. It caught the defender out. Like you say, the ball was a little too long. There was lots of rotations in that patient build-up, and give credit to Southend. They matched it off, and what you're doing by keeping possession like that and moving it across the back line into midfield and back into the back line is hoping that one of the runs isn't covered, and then it's down to you to make sure you play the ball to that player that's got away. But Southend covered us off quite well there in terms of the rotations. But I like the fact, again, that we've seen a player drop their shoulder and go in behind the opposition back line. Good run from Kelman.
Southend of a throw, but it's straight to Edwards, who's trying to find Campbell with his header. Carey will challenge and win the header. Kelman can't get there though. Doherty picks it up for Charlton, however. turns away from trouble and finds Edwards to his left. Ball forward to Campbell. Closely monitored by Scott Morris. It goes first time ball back to Amari Bell on the left-hand side, inside to Jones. Bell once more. Lifts it forward, looking for the run of Doherty. I'm not sure it will find the Charlton captain. It doesn't, but Campbell will pick up the dropping ball. Edwards back to Bell. Coventry comes short. Finds Ramsey on halfway on the right-hand side. Actor makes a run and then drops his shoulder and comes back the other way, and he receives the ball. Ramsey in support once more. Again, very congested ahead of him, so goes back inside to Jones, who finds Doherty. Back out to Ramsey again. Again, Apter failed to make a run, and it's a good worked move between Kelman and Apter, and Kelman adjudged to be offside with that. Carey rather. Adjudged to be offside with that final little ball into his feet. And he's distressed about the decision, which was probably a right one, by the way.
Yeah, didn't see. You know, the angle I've got from here is slightly distorted. But what I would say is we're moving the ball well now. You're asking Southend to do a lot of running off the ball, which is never easy to do. And there's just signs of good link-up play. I like the fact it was Doherty that dropped his shoulder, went in behind this time, and who backed up to win the knockdown? Campbell. So they've just had a little rotation there, and it's important that Campbell didn't stand on ceremony, made sure he got to that knockdown and kept possession for Charlton.
Yeah, it was lovely in the play between Apter and Carey, which opened up Southend on this right-hand side, but final pass just caught Carey out and offside. Southend work the ball forward from that free kick, and they have a throw-in on their left-hand side. Boise goes back and inside to Goodliff. Boys again. Cuts inside Doherty. Hussein goes back out to Boys. Boys ball into the box. A little flick from Ralph, and there's a handball in there. Oh, Bell handballed that, but he was fouled in the process by Walker, which caused the Charlton man to go over and make contact with his arm. And just when I saw the referee blow his whistle, I thought, oh, here we go.
So did I. Yeah, but it was a nudge. And you have to give Bell a credit for positioning himself well to step inside. I think it was Walker, and Walker just used his hip to try and roll Bell, and that was enough contact for the referee to give the free kick, thankfully, because it would have been, you know, if he didn't deem it a free kick, it was handball.
Charlton working across to the left, and Edwards goes back to Bell, inside to Coventry. Bell again, combining with Coventry once more. Now Coventry can turn and look for the runners. One of them is Carey. Yeah, that's a bit beyond him. Ralph gets a header, but he might inadvertently set Apter up at just before, because it looked like Boys was falling over there, but Apter couldn't get in front of him.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. That's the first one we forced. You know, we've tried to make the running behind their back line, but it wasn't really on, and we forced that pass. And actually, you know, I, as much as I praise people that drop their shoulders and extend the opposition back line, you know, if it's not on, you're just feeding the ball into a centre half that's going to win a header, which is what we saw there from Coventry. But at least the runners are willing and able at the moment.
Charlton work it back, and then Ramsey receives it to us on the right-hand side from Kaminsky. Jones back out to Ramsey. He's penned in a little bit here, but got Coventry available. First time ball back to Jones, and now Kaminsky once more as Charlton switch it across to the left. Bell. He's got Doherty running in front of him. It's good running as well by the Charlton captain. Doherty brings it over halfway. That's a lovely ball down the line, but as Campbell just ran too soon, he had. And
yeah, it was a long way off as well. It wasn't even close.
No, it wasn't.
But what I liked about that build-up play was how we rotated again, and I spoke about earlier about you keep moving the ball to hope somebody doesn't cover off the runs, and they didn't cover off Doherty, got away and was allowed to drive into opposition half.
Campbell does outstanding work back to win the ball back for Charlton, and now Apter on the right-hand side. Little ball to Carey in the box. Carey can turn, gets the cross shot in, and it's taken a deflection off of Goodliff and beyond Ending and D, and Charlton open the scoring.
Yeah, really good, as you say, from Campbell, working back to nick the ball back, win possession high up the pitch. It was a feature of Charlton Athletic last year. We hunted in packs and won the ball back in the opposition half an awful amount. And on this occasion, the turnover proved very fruitful. There was a quick switch of play to Apter out on this right-hand side. Excellent run from Carey beyond the back line again. And he done everything right. He drove that ball low and hard across into the middle of the 6 yard, and it's taken that little nick off Goodliff, and Charlton take the lead. But all from that little spring, that little press, that bit of pressure that got that turnover, and that's the reward when you do get your press right in the opposition half. Your reward is 2 passes later and you've got a shooting opportunity.
Yeah, the movement from Apter as well in the first place to get into space after Campbell had done really well to win the ball back. Gave the ball to Doherty, who spotted Apter, and the run of Apter picked him out perfectly, and then Carey on hand to do the rest. As Charlton win the ball back from the restart. Jones into Kaminski. Jones looking to bring it out, but blocked by Hopper.
Yeah, we've worked it, so there's this huge gap at the moment in behind their midfield, but we just can't work somebody to feed into that space. But we're moving the ball well.
Doherty might do just that. Oh, it's a heavy touch, and he's annoyed with himself. He stepped into that space you were talking about, Steve,
Yeah.
and then got the opportunity, and then just lifted it too heavy and beyond Kelman. And so Southend have it back. Send it forward. Edwards leaves that for Jones, who gets his head there. Campbell comes short for it and lifts the ball over the top again. Carey makes the run, and this time Ndengendi comes out, meets it first, drops to Ramsey. First time ball forward. Kelman can't get there, but Doherty gets to the second ball. Carey coming back from an offside position.
I don't know. I don't know why he's given that.
No, nor do I. The linesman didn't signal
well,
at all.
And there was a real intent from Carey to not get involved.
Is there a change of rule we're not aware of?
Well, maybe, because I am pretty dire on change of rules over the summer, I have to be honest.
I know about the 8-second rule. That's the only one I've managed to pick up on.
Well, you're one better rule off than me then, because I have no idea what you're on
Apparently
about.
the goalkeepers can't hang on to it. If they hang on to it for 8 seconds, it's a corner to the other team. Ball into the box from Southend. Yeah, no, don't look at me like that.
That's a legitimate
genuine rule.
Excellent.
Yeah, it could be... It could be quite amusing this season.
I'm glad you brought it up today, because next week, if 8 seconds had come, I'd have gone, what's going on?
8 seconds the keeper's got to release it.
All right, fair enough.
Kelman having his shirt pulled over all over the place, and gets nothing from the referee for it. Southend have possession back, and it's Boys who just swung that dangerous cross in.
Yeah,
to go.
Again, if you want to be really picky, and we are a week before the start of a championship campaign, you need that cross, tighter to that cross a little bit. It was a good take from Kaminski in the end, because it bounced just in front of him, really awkward. But I think Nathan would like to see that cross under a bit more pressure.
I remember, I'll hold fire because Southend send the ball forward down the Charlton left. Edwards with a good header clearance to Coventry, who's trying to send Kelman on his way. Goodliff should get there first and does. Guides it back to his keeper. Ralph under pressure here from Apter inside his box. And just gets it away. Walker can't get there. Jones wins the header comfortably. Carey there trying to find Apter. Again, he felt it was fouled. Referee again not convinced. Southend have it back with Boys on the left-hand side. Southend now work it back to Goodliff in centre-half position. I'll wait for the ball to go dead before I tell that story. As the flick on from the ball forward is read by Jones, and Bell steps in to make sure it stays in Charlton position, but then the second ball forward looking for Coventry doesn't find its mark, and Southend have it back on the right hand side with Goodliff.
Yep, it's the first frustration I've seen out of Nathan in the technical area. Something about that last phase of play wasn't particularly happy
There was
about.
a little flick, fingers from Edwards that didn't come off.
I think
the one
you're right, Del. I think that's it.
Southend work it to the right hand side. Ball up to Hopper, holding off Bell. Backwards to Hussein, who sends it forward. Edwards behind that, but his header goes straight to Taylor. It's Taylor once more. Bit of space. Goes to his right hand side to find Walker. There's a buzz from the Southend crowd when he got the ball. Expecting him to go past people. Instead, he goes back inside to Hussein. Now Taylor once more. Cross comes in, takes a deflection, and that's kindly for Kaminski, who claims it and gathers it comfortably. Instant roll out to Apter on this right hand side. Just checks because there was nothing ahead of him.
There's Kelman in front. Carey's joining, but not quick enough, and the right thing to do is keep possession.
Yeah. Coming up to 24 minutes gone. Charlton a goal ahead here from Sonny Carey. Working across to the left-hand side, and Edwards back inside to Coventry. The sun goes behind one of the clouds in the sky now. Welcome shade for everyone. Coventry once more inside the centre circle now. Just a little check ball left to Bell. He's giving it back to Coventry, but that's put him into trouble, that ball. And Southend have it back with Hopper across to the right-hand side of him is Coker. Cuts inside Coker. He's got boys away to the left-hand side. Apter does superbly well to track back, but his interception has caused a Southend corner. And that all came from the little short ball to Coventry from Bell that put him into trouble. He was being hounded by Coker, and as a result, Southend now have this corner.
I think the one thing, again, was a very good feature of Charlton Athletic last year was on little errors, little turnovers, how quickly they got back into shape, and there was an example of that. Apter caught wrong side, but has got the pace to get back in really quickly.
Corner comes into the near post. Hopper got there, but he couldn't do anything with it. And he's gone away for a Charlton goal kick. Yeah, I remember a good few seasons ago when there was a rule change that I didn't know anything about, by the way. I think it had something to do with offside, but I'm not going to be able to tell you exactly what it was. But yeah, and I was obviously moaning about this decision, couldn't quite understand it had gone against us, etc. And somebody sent in a message about Rule 2B on paragraph 38.
Yeah, there's always someone that will know, to be fair, especially on the rules. I will say that, and I'm quite slack on them. I wasn't particularly great when I was playing, if I'm honest. Well,
you've got
one of those things.
Many things to think about, Steve.
Yeah, I'm going to get my stamina levels up. Yeah, no. That is a curious one, though. 8 seconds is a corner.
It's the one that stands out from. There are a few more which I'm not going to bore you with, but to be fair, it was a good learning curve for me because I hadn't really checked on the rules, and somebody pointing out to the fact that I should have done it. They're quite right, to be fair. So I'll try and keep a little bit on top of it. Although there are a few that I don't. There's a few there this season, and one of them I have no idea what it means. I'll have to go through it with a compass or something to find out. Southend is a good little shimmy from Scott Morris down that left-hand side, and he's got the ball in as well, but it's a good defensive header from Bell to win it back for Charlton. Now Edwards under pressure from Scott Morris. Does well to get it back to Jones, who has to clear it under pressure. So Southend have it back in the midfield, and it's Ralph bringing it forward. It's got Austin making a run beyond Ramsey, and Ramsey, though, too quick. Just for a second there, I thought Ramsey had checked there, and purely I think because he was comfortable rather than anything untoward, but I was worried for a split second there. But no, he's fine. Kane Ramsey.
Yeah, and that clearance up to Kelman is the only issue with how we play with Tyrese Campbell. So when that ball gets flicked on by Kelman, he pinned the centre half well, he flicked the ball into a very good area, but Campbell's 50 yards away because we ask him to occupy that left-hand side, and it's the only time really it shows up.
Well, Hussein has just found a pocket of space in midfield that Steve Brown was talking about earlier, and he's gone right to Scott Morris's ball into the boxes. Initially cleared away, but he's back in possession. Hussein again, right corner of the penalty area for Southend. Scott Morris once more. Coventry in front of him, trying to stop the cross coming in. He can't, and Hopper will get there, but a Bell on the cover, steps in front, and we'll just guide this away for a goal.
I like the look of Bell. I like the look. That last back, that header he made on the back pedal, Ramsey could have given him a little call, and he didn't. And as a centre half, if you don't get a call, you've got to deal with it. But I quite like the way he got his head onto that and diverted it away. This is not a bad spell for Southend. It's their best spell for a little while, and they're asking questions of Charlton defensively. But I quite like the way he's defended the last couple of moments, Bill.
Well, I said pre-game that I've liked the way he's looked comfortable in possession, and he's looked composed, obviously against a certain opposition. But he's found Campbell. Campbell bringing it forward now. Will just jink inside under pressure from Coker to go back to Edwards. But yeah, I've been impressed with his composure as well, as much as anything else. He doesn't look flustered.
Yeah.
Ramsey on the right. Thought about going forward to Apter, instead chose to go back inside because that route looked blocked. So it's Bell once more. This time he does lift it forward. He's got 3 players to aim for and splits them all. And Scott Morris gets it away, but Edwards does well to get there first, but inadvertently gives the ball to Austin. Austin out to the left is Boys. The Southend attack down the left-hand side. Ball into the box, too deep for everybody. He didn't have the angle. his position with Ramsey covering off any ball inside was always going to be a cross that's going to find the keeper or go beyond the far post and away for a goal kick, and that's exactly what it did. Southend in the meantime have a player down. I think that's Hopper. Just trying to look at who's on their feet and who isn't.
Yeah.
I think it is Hopper who's down, and so players just getting a small drink. So your assessment of the opening 29 minutes.
Well, I'm just going to cover off that last little. The reason Southend had that last attack is we went long, and I've said I always like the fact that you try and extend an opposition, but if you want to see when it works well and when it doesn't, that was an example of how we didn't quite get the timing right. You had Edwards going in behind wide left. You had Campbell dropping his shoulder and going in behind from a sort of attacking midfield position in beyond, and then you had Kelman also running into the channel. So you had 3 players making the same run, and that's an error. And one header takes out 3 Charlton players, and that will have an impact on the midfield. So there's a space in the midfield. Southend pick up the pieces and they break out, and that's an example of how precise you have to be with the communication, the timing, and who makes the run. And when it doesn't quite come off, the consequences are that you're going to leave gaps for the opposition to exploit, which we just saw with Southend, that final cross, which had a poor technique at the end, which led it to go out for the goal kick. But in terms of the first 30 minutes, I think is exactly what Nathan would have wanted from. It was a bit of a slow start for me. It was a bit, a bit lackadaisical. But once we got the ball moving and we started to get the rotations in, and we were asking Southend to work very hard out of possession, things started to come together. We've got the goal, which I think is important because that's great for everybody on the pitch. It settles everybody down. And I always look at me personally. This is not something that's general. This is just me personally, Steve Brown. I always look at how are we defensively, because I think we're going to get tested defensively next week. And so far so good. There's a couple of crosses come in that you want a bit tighter, but by and large we get back into shape very, very quickly. We've had a couple of moments in this game where we've pressed together and looked good. We've kept possession particularly well in our own half. We've been very patient in build-up. So there's lots for Nathan to like in this first 35 minutes.
Well, I think, given what we saw last season and the effect Nathan Jones, even when he started, when we were struggling in League One, the fact that we're solid defensively shouldn't be a surprise to many people, I wouldn't have thought, as Charlton trying to be patient, going across left to right, and Jones happy to go back to Kaminski. I'm just looking at, has Hopper gone off? I'm just looking actually to see, I think Hopper might have gone off in that interim period, because the number 18 Spasov is on. So I was too busy listening to you.
Well, good spot, because I was waffling on looking at our team and what they're doing. But I think what's important about what you just said is you've got Ramsey, Jones, Edwards, 3, and in front of that today you've got Doherty and Coventry, which is by and large 5 of the 7 of last year, and you've got Bell coming in and Kaminski coming in. So there's a bit of continuity there in terms of players understanding what was required of them because of last season. So you've got that little bit of continuity, and that makes it easier to then filter in a goalkeeper, filter in one left-sided centre half.
That last move probably won't please Nathan Jones a great deal. We looked like we were in control and found some space down at the left-hand side. The final ball from Campbell to Edwards. Edwards looking along the line, catches the Charlton left-sided wing-back offside, which gives Southend a free kick. They send it forward. Spasov with the touch into Scott Morris, up against Edwards. Doherty there as well. It's the Charlton captain that wins out in the end, but second ball won back by Southend, and then Walker trying to send. I think that was Coker on his way. Gets that all wrong. Charlton clear it away. But Jones has to win the next header up in the air. It's a bit of head tennis, and then your ball, my ball, and Southend do actually finally come forward with it. Walker into the corner of the penalty area. Gets the initial block cross by Jones, but it's Scott Morris gets the final touch into the box, and then the referee's given a penalty here, and I think that's extremely soft. It was Bell on the challenge on Spasov, who's gone to ground, and I think that's a shocker. I mean, we haven't got the benefit of replays, but that's a friendly decision, I think, that one.
Yeah, I've got to be honest with you. I was looking down at the substitution list, actually.
I mean, in fairness, Southend moved the ball well, having won it back. It was a scrappy period of play. Clearances going back to them, back to us, back to them, and then the final piece of play, which was Scott Morris's doing, and he's the one that's taken the penalty, by the way, who actually put the football on the floor into Walker, and from there, the final ball into the box from Scott Morris into Ward's. Spasov created this penalty. Morris takes it and it's saved by Kaminski, and it's good work from Coventry to follow up, and then Carey wins a free kick in the box. I think it's fair to say.
Well,
that's nearly as soft as a penalty.
Looked like the Mr. T advert. You should just, yeah. Looked like that one. But listen, I saw the challenge. I saw Spasov go down, and it did look very, very soft. You know, but I saw it for half a second. But justice is served, and it's not really a good save from Kaminski. It's a poor penalty, actually. But nevertheless, a goalkeeper has to stand strong and get contact, and he's done that. Well, but yeah, that's I think that's the outcome that's right, considering the decision.
But I think again, Nathan Jones probably looking at the way that was created.
Yeah.
We were a bit sloppy.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit. I think if he's going to go in at half time and say anything, is go look. I'm not happy about how many balls are coming into our box unopposed. You know, it's a bit too easy at the moment in terms of when wing backs or midfielders are in an area where they can deliver into our box. We're allowing it to come in too easily. You know, but he's not going to go overboard about it, because by and large it's been a decent workout in the first half, and you know, things that he's put in place have certainly come out in his first 35 minutes. But I think that's one thing he won't be happy about.
Ramsey does win in possession to just avoid the attentions of Spasov. Gives it to Jones, who in turn gives the ball to Kaminski on the edge of his penalty area, trying to send Kelman on his way, but that's a hopeful ball forward that
wasn't on. You know, I said earlier about forcing
comfortably.
Yeah, you know, I said earlier about forcing a ball, because you see a run and you think, oh, you know, that wasn't on.
His counterpart sends it back the other way. Bell with the header away. Carey can't get there. Doherty tries and gets his head to it. Carey again trying to get there but can't. Walker beaten to it by Bell, beaten to it well. Doherty turns away from trouble, finds Coventry. That's a decent bit of football from Charlton to work the space under pressure from the home side. And now Ramsey has it back from Jones once more. Coventry asking for it, but he doesn't know that Ralph is right behind him, so Ramsey does well not to give him the ball. That's a lovely touch from Campbell from his receipt to find Doherty. Out to Coventry now. And Coventry's looking for Kelman, who asked for the ball, but it's gone beyond him. Trying to pick out Edwards. The retreating Scott Morris deals with that back to his keeper.
I can see why he's perhaps hit the diagonal, because there was a good bit of movement from Kelman, but to feet out on his right hand side, I think we need to get him involved a little bit more. He took his defender away and then quickly made a movement back towards the ball, and I thought Coventry should have just pinged it into Apter's left foot and let him have a little 1v1 on this right hand side. We need to get him involved a little bit more, I think.
Well, Doherty does well to win the ball back for Charlton in midfield, and he gives the ball back to Bell, who's been, well, his heels have been chipped at by Spasov, and the referee's allowing that to go on. Bell wins the throw-in off the Southend substitute, but the Charlton bench weren't happy about the attention he was giving Amari Bell in the build-up to that. And let the referee know, by the way, as Charlton work it back to Kaminski, up to Coventry. This time it's Austin pressuring the ball for Southend. Ball worked into midfield, and it's Boys who picks it up for the home side. Taylor, ball forward. It's picked out Boys. Boys works it to his left foot. Austin available. Ball into the box. It's Spasov with a header. Under pressure from Bell. Can only put it behind the goal for a goal kick.
Yeah. So, you know, if you're going for analysis on that, and you go back to the training ground and you look at why they had a player in 25 yards of space driving at our back line, it's because we committed 5 midfielders beyond the ball and on the turnover. So someone has not done their job properly. We've overcommitted in terms of players forward, and that one pass between the lines has created an opportunity for someone to run 25 yards at our back line. So, you know, that will be noticed, that will be logged, that will be worked on, and hopefully not repeated next Saturday. But what you have there is everybody's focused on trying to make a run forward. Even Connor Coventry was beyond the ball there. So that one pass through the lines, there's no way someone should have 30 yards of space to run into without a midfielder goal side of that ball.
Charlton try to work it through. In the end, only succeed in putting it out of play for this Southend throw on the left-hand side. Boys into the fit of Husin. Husin Under pressure from Kelman. Tries to go down the line to Boys. Gets it back, Husin. Backing in the middle is Taylor. Out to his right-hand side. It's Coker. Coker's ball into the box, a deep one. And again, Ramsey on hand, but he tried to just turn away from Austin and ran out of room. Has to concede the corner as a result.
Yeah, I mean, he knew he was under pressure. He couldn't take the risk of just, he got himself in a position where he probably could have shielded it and let it run across him. But then if a sort of foot goes around the side of your body and hooks that back into the middle of the 6-yard box, you're going to get criticised. So I think he did the right thing, Ramsey. Defend the corner in numbers.
And it is a corner from Boys into the box. Runners coming in, and one of them thought it was aiming for Ralph, but the one who eventually got on it was Scott Morris when he sort of side-footed the ball.
He's definitely going to look at data on first touches in our box tonight, I think. Just to see.
Well, the last couple of Southend corners have gone to the near side, to the sort of near side of the 6-yard box for runners to meet it. And I think pressure from Charlton defenders, plus the ball in hasn't been the top quality, you'd have to say. Has meant that Charlton goal has stayed intact. That's a lovely touch from Kelman from the goal kick into Carey, trying to release Apter, but he's put too much on that. And a lovely controlled pass from little touch from Kelman in the first place.
Yeah. Again, I think in an ideal world, if you're looking at today, you'd like to see Kelman involved a bit more. You'd like to see Apter involved a little bit more.
The long ball forward, just gripped in the surface. I think Charlton players Bell and Jones were expecting that to skip off the surface, and it just sort of plugged. And so Bell had to head it back to Kaminsky, who just about dealt with it at the second attempt.
I thought he got himself in a position that doesn't help defenders, because a little deft touch.
No man's land.
Yeah, they dealt with it in the end quite well.
Ball forward from Ramsey, trying to pick out Kelman, but Charlton pick up the second ball, and it's a lovely ball inside from Apter to Carey. Carey gets taken out by Boys. Little, I say taken out, it's probably over the top description. It was a nice little foot out to trip him up.
He was taken out. There was a definite little trip there, and down he went. But that was a lovely link up. Great little first touch back to Apter. The ball inside was perfectly weighted for Carey to run on. Took it in his stride. First touch forward was excellent, and he just got nicked. Little clip of the back heel, and down he went. But that was excellent timing in terms of support runs.
Well, where's Gillespie when you need him? Free kick in a very similar position to the free kick at Wembley.
I don't care if he doesn't score another free kick. The one that we wanted him to score went in.
Well, at the moment you've got Coventry and Carey over this. It's a decent distance and angle for a shot, I'd have to say. And D's fairly central. It's a little touch to Carey, who does take the shot, takes a deflection into Doherty. Can't get enough leverage for a shot. And Southend clear it away. Ramsey's going to have to deal with this again. It's sort of plugged in the surface a little bit, that bounce, but he does really well, Ramsey, to deal with it. And trying to send Campbell on his way. It's a little flick from Jones to help it on its way. Southend just about get it away. Charlton will have a throw in on halfway. Coventry leaves it to Edwards.
I think if I was watching Ramsey for the first time, the way he casually sweeps things up would scare me, but because he's used to it, the way you just know he's going to get there.
Oh, Kelman does well to control it and turn away from trouble. Finds Coventry trying to get an angle for a shot, I think, but instead turns around, gives it back to Edwards. Edwards trying to send Campbell on his way, but too hopeful a pass. Too much on it. It's a goal kick.
Anvil foot.
42.5 minutes gone. And,
got called that a few times.
It's got a goal up, Charlton. With,
touch like Danny Mills. the one Iron King.
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah, he just overhits it. A good run from Campbell on the shoulder. Everything was, as it should be, but the pass just much too strong.
The Sonny Carey goal still separates the two sides here as Charlton win the ball back from the goal kick after trying to sprint down the line here, but two players in his way, so has to check back to Coventry, inside to Jones. Edwards makes a run on the left-hand side, being looked for by Jones.
Just didn't get the 4 right off the tee, that one.
That's well, it is mine. Mine would have found Apter again.
Big old slice, yeah, you can see what he was after. Look, the drive was on as well, good run beyond.
Southend have possession on the left-hand side. It's with Boys. Now to Ralph. Pressure from Carey. Ralph. Now Apter and Ralph put that ball out of place, so it should be a Charlton throw. It is. As we head towards the last minute of this well, normal time at least, the first half. I know there was the injury to Hopper. Whether that will be added on or not, it remains to be seen. Very rarely does in pre-season.
No need. No, you know, unless there's an actual cast iron 5-minute break, you're not going to add on too much. But
Kelman wins the header, trying to find Doherty, but it's intercepted, and now Southend have it with Walker in the centre circle. Back to Scott Morris. Under pressure from Edwards, has to go back to his keeper. Launches it forward down the Charlton left. Bell will allow this to drop. Walker just nudges him out of the way.
Yeah, didn't like that.
Bell does well though to recover it. And Edwards will. There's a little tussle after the ball had gone between Walker and Bell, and I think he's given that decision to Charlton, much to the Southend fans' dislike and disagreement.
Yeah, as soon as that bounced, you've got a player actually in Walker who's relatively physically strong upper body. As soon as it bounces and he checks in front of Bell, you're thinking that's trouble. Should have maybe dealt with that.
Well, Bell's free kick. He's looking for Kelman. He gets something on it, but he can't steer it. I think he was trying to bring in Apter, who was probably a little too deep anyway, but didn't get enough on it. Runs through to the keeper, and you get the feeling that after this has been released, then we might see half time. Yeah. The referee's adding a bit on, so obviously practicing himself for the start of the season. Southend win it back from the dropping ball, and Bell does well to recover that for Charlton. Jones sends it forward up towards Campbell. There's something on it. Now Kelman picks it up for the Alex. Back to Edwards. Falls into the gap between the pitch and the stand. And the referee then does bring this first half to a close. And first half that's, well, it's typical pre-season against lower league opposition, I guess. It's been a few bright moments, a hard tussle as Southend have pressed and harried Charlton. So in terms of that, it's a good run out. And the teams are separated by that Sonny Carey goal when he sprung into the penalty area, turned and hit his shot, deflected past the keeper, and that's what separates the two sides here. I'm just you'll forgive me, I'm just trying to help the analyst get down the ladder, and he wants to carry a laptop with him. Good luck with that, mate. How expensive is that?
I don't think people can appreciate, right, the steepness of the ladder, the height of the ladder, the fact that he's supposed to put a harness on for our mate down the bottom, Mr. Health and Safety.
Do you reckon he'll have a moan when he gets down?
I mean, you can't even get down and have a cup of tea, because by the time you get down, they'll be back out. But yeah, I think, you know, it depends what Nathan wants out of this last game. But I would imagine he would like us to create one or two more opportunities in the 45 minutes against Southend. You know, we've had the goal, but we haven't really tested their keeper too much in that first 45 minutes. But you know, the work in possession, moving the ball's been fine. You know, especially in our own half, we've been patient. We've been diligent in terms of the rotations. We've tried to extend. At times I think we maybe looked for that ball too quickly. You know, you can make a run and ignore it, because what you have to imagine is if the run's made by Kelman or Campbell or Sonny Carey and that back line drops down, that immediately should see a gap between the back line and the midfield. The midfield then might drop, and then you've got, you know, you should see gaps between the units, and then maybe it's time to play. And we've looked for that long ball a little bit too quickly at times. As much as I love seeing opposition backlines extended, I think sometimes we've forced a pass that wasn't on and relinquished possession. We've also not really got our forward people in the game enough. I don't think Kelman's been enough, and I don't think Apter's been enough. But when they do get involved, there's been some nice touches. Apter's had that couple of lovely balls inside. He's linked up for Carey for the goal. Kelman's had a couple of lovely little flicks inside, and you know, so there's been elements of look good. And the penalty, which wasn't a penalty. Aside from that, I don't think Kaminski's been too busy either. So there's, you know, it's just a pre-season friendly that's ticking by. But yeah, one or two moments where I think crosses have come into the box a little bit too easy as well, which I think Nathan would be keen to tidy up. Well,
we're going to leave you for a few minutes at least, just to have a look at the highlights and give us a couple of minutes break before. We're not going to go anywhere, trust me, but we'll have a couple of minutes break, and we'll leave you with the highlights. Do join us again for all the live second half coverage here on Charlton TV from Roots Hall. Well, welcome back everybody to Roots Hall as we just see the Southend players appearing from the tunnel. What I will do before we get fully underway is just give you the details of who the Charlton subs are. So it will be the second team when it does kick in, and Ashley Maynard Brewer at number 21, Macaulay Guestbury at 3, Alex Mitchell, Ghassan Ahadmi, Ibrahim Fuller, Mika and Bick, Karoy Anderson, Alan Mwamba, Zach Mitchell, Tanto Alafe, and then we've got the 2 trialists and Daniel Kanu. And from memory, the trialists are, well, one of them's Bennett, as I remember, and I'll catch up with the second one before we actually do, because I know that we weren't allowed to mention trialists for the first couple, and then pretty much everybody did post match after the last game, second to the last game. So it wasn't worth not worrying about who the trialists are. But yeah, we're Southend players are out. Referee is now coming out as well, and the officials, and Charlton immediately behind them. So, Steve Brown, what are you expecting in this second half?
Like I said at the end of the first, I think Nathan will hopefully want to see a few more forays into the final third. Players linking up a little bit better, to getting involved a bit more. Kelman, having at least a couple of attempts on goal in the first half hour of this second half before he departs. But I think he'll want a couple of more efforts on goal. I want to see us be a little bit better in the final third. And like I said, from a defensive point of view, I thought there was some good stuff in there, but I think he'll want those crosses that have come in unopposed to be a little bit. I think he'll want the players closest to the ball to be a bit better in terms of applying pressure, and he'll certainly want us to win more first balls into the box. And
just before we kick off, I want to mention this because I know it's we're just less than a week away from the start of the season. Really, how much are you looking forward to it? There's you've got our highest opening attendance for an opening fixture for 16 years in that game, and the atmosphere is going to be great, isn't it?
Listen, we're a championship club again, and if that doesn't whet the appetite, then I don't know what will, because we've been starved, I would say, since the last time we were in the championship. It's been a long old haul to get back there, and if you'd have taken the first 3 months of last season, you wouldn't have thought last year was going to be the year. But Nathan's found a way to get us back in the championship. We need to enjoy it.
Well, we're back underway, and we'll talk about that more maybe as if we get a lull. But I just noticed actually Ghassan Ahadmi's on the pitch. I'll see who's gone off. Maybe is it Charlie Kelman who's gone off? It is Kelman who's gone off, and Ghassan Ahadmi has made his appearance, his first pre-season appearance, I think that is. And Southend, though, deal with that ball forward back to the keeper, sends it away first time. Jones with the challenge, and then the second one on Walker's a good one, but can't find Ahadmi with the out ball. Southend send it into their left-hand corner. Ramsey just across dealing with it, and just shields his man away. I think it was Austin he did. Ball upfield to Carey, who couldn't control it. It's allowed Southend to come back with possession. It's back to Goodliff, his ball forward. Jones on the challenge with Spasov, which might have,
a foul than the penalty, that one.
might have caused the referee to give a free kick. Didn't. A curious one, as you say, considering what he gave for the penalty. It's Charlton might have got away with that. As Kaminsky now sends it forward. Ahadmi with a flick on to Carey. A second flick on, asking Apter to chase it. Just bounced the wrong side of him. It's allowed Boys to come back, steer it back to his keeper. Sends it away in this second half. Charlton with a 1-0 lead. Carey scoring in that first half. Apter just nudged out of it, and looked like a slight foul, but Walker comes forward for Southend, edge of the area, trying to get a shot away. Doherty backing in front of him, sends the ball, or gives the ball back to Kokru, takes the shot, he's taken a deflection and away for a Charlton corner, and Jones just rubbing his head. I'm not sure whether that was the ball against it or there was a challenge in there.
No, definitely the shot cannoned off the back of his head. But I thought there was a moment there, if I'm honest with you, that Walker should have played the substitute in. Spasov, who made a great run out on his left-hand side. Just a little reverse ball into his path, would have seen a little shot on the angle. But it's a corner Southend.
Nathan Jones wasn't happy with the challenge initially, but went unpunished as the corner comes in. Jones with the header away, and Campbell might be able to get on the end of this. He does. Therese Campbell on the left-hand side. Skips past Taylor. Still Therese Campbell looking to cut inside Austin. Ball in field. It's gone behind Ahadmi. Goodliff retreating, clears it away. But only as far as Bell, ball up to Coventry, who heads it into the path of Campbell once more. Campbell cuts inside. Coventry again. He's got Edwards on the overlap. Edwards, left foot cross, looking for Doherty. Can't get there. Cleared away. And as far as Coventry, it's a good ball out to Apter on the right-hand side. Apter looking to take his man on. Goes back inside to Coventry. Lifts the ball into the box. Hadme with a header, and he scored. Gasson Hadme, first opportunity. Goal to Charlton.
Yeah, he's positioned himself very, very well. I love the fact that we ringed the edge of the box for those clearances. Coventry, the ball coming back out to him. And what I love about Connor Coventry, he knows exactly who's on. He knows if he needs to take a touch or he can play it first time. He fires it out to Apter. Apter draws 2 players over. Connor Coventry goes and supports on the inside channel. And Apter looks up, realises and recognises he can't cross immediately, feeds it back to Coventry, and that's a lovely little in-swinging ball in behind that Southend backline. And Hadme, love seeing him just peel off the far shoulder of the last centre half, so that anything beyond him, he's favourite to win. And once he gets away from that centre half, it's just a case of getting it on target. It's a decent little build-up play. It's a great ball in from Coventry and a super finish from Hadme from close range.
3 minutes into the second half, Charlton double the lead, and Gasson Hadme on the score sheet. Southend got in the Charlton left. Again, it's well read by Ramsey. He's intercepted and he's coming away with the ball into the Southend half. Infield to Carey. Back out right to Apter. Apter trying to send Carey on his way into the penalty area. Carey takes a touch, drills it across, looking for a Hadme. Keeper just got there in front of him. He got something on it to clear it away. Another good move from Charlton. Southend clear it home as far as Jones, who takes it under control. Brings Kaminsky into play. Sends Bells, just sent him scampering a little bit, and Edwards says, no, I'll have that. Doherty in field. Turns, got Jones in support behind. And Bell to his left, and it's Bell. Edwards coming short for it, but Amari Bell trying to switch it across. Coventry lets it run to Carey. Carey's got Apter on the overlap on the right. Carey back in on his left foot. Will he take a shot here? Carey does. Oh, and a Hadme meets it and buries it past the keeper again. Southend players looking across to the linesman. Gasson Hadme, 2 in 2 minutes.
Yeah. We've had 3 involvements from Apter inside the first 5 minutes of this second half, and he's drawn players towards him, which has allowed Coventry to have space to make the cross for Hadme's first. And on this occasion, he does what we've seen him do many, many times last season, which is pick the ball up on the right, drop his shoulder on the outside to cut back in on that left. And once he does that, it's a case of, can I get a shot away or can I deliver into a good area? I'm not sure whether that was a shot or a cross, but either way, it ended up with a finish from close range from Hadme. And again, he scored both those goals inside the width of the post, 6 yards out, which is where most goals are scored from. But yeah, it's a very, very good start to this second half from Charlton Athletic. And I spoke about Apter trying to get involved more. 3 involvements, couple of goals, super start.
Yeah, good work from Apter on both occasions, but I also like the fact that Gasson Hadme timed his run on both goals, because I think all of us looked across to the linesman or the assistant over there on the right-hand side, sort of expecting the flag to go up. On neither occasion it did, because he timed his movement superbly. And it's Hadme again on the ball. Out to Apter this time on the right-hand side. Makes a run ahead of him. Carey also making the run. And it's Carey. Lovely dummy to make space for the cross, but he can't lift it above the keeper where Campbell was waiting to put it away.
Yeah, shame. And again, Carey's attacking down that right-hand side with Apter. You know, so you've got Apter receiving possession, and that's the second time Carey's gone beyond him to the byline to deliver. One was cut out of the near post, that one was intercepted by the goalkeeper, but a little bit more purchase on that cross. Campbell's got to tap in.
Southend find themselves 3 goals behind here at Roots Hall. Ball forward. Spassoff goes down under pressure from Bell. Nothing from the referee. So Charlton have possession. Jones to Ramsey on the right-hand side. Coventry's ahead of him. Also ahead is Hadme, come short. Touch to Carey. Carey with Campbell on a run ahead of him. Edwards to his left. It's Campbell. Oh, he tried to steer it into Edwards, hoping he was going to continue his run, but Edwards just checked to give Carey an option, and because of that, the ball's just drifted out of play for a Southend throw.
Suddenly you look across Southend side and the breathing's a lot heavier and the wind's been totally and utterly taken out of their sails, and Charlton have their tails up. Fitness levels do look superior. I know it's only early stages of the second half and the goals will make a difference, but It's a noticeable difference in energy levels.
Doherty with super pressure on the ball, and he's convinced that that's a Charlton throw, and the referee's not happy at all, the Charlton skipper, with that decision. It's a good challenge from Bell to win it back for Charlton, but then Spasov wins it back for Southend. That's a good challenge again, this time from the Charlton skipper to win it back for Charlton. He's found Coventry.
Check.
Out to Apter, looking to take on Boys. Apter on the outside this time now, cuts in on his left. Ball into the box, cleared away by Goodliff. And Ramsey just levers Walker out of the way to allow Jones to pick up possession for Charlton. Looking for somebody in the middle, nobody there, so he's gone back to Kaminsky, who's well out of his penalty area. Bell now on the left. Campbell making a run ahead of him. Campbell trying to turn away from Goodliff, who's a chunk of his waist and his shirt. The referee's just shaking his head. I think that's perfectly acceptable, and Jones does superbly well to intercept the ball forward. And now Ahadmi finds Edwards, trying to send Campbell on his way through the middle, and he's got beyond the defence. Back to Ahadmi, who shoots straight at the keeper.
Yeah, Kerry wants him to leave it, but you got no chance of him leaving it. It's set back dead weight on his left foot. It's just not the right strike. Low down into the corner would have been the strike for me. Keeper's head height, easy save, but super ball in behind the fullback. I can't recall who played it. But
Edwards,
it was who? Edwards. It's an do you know what? I knew when Jones lunged in for that interception, which was great, it looked like he extended himself.
Yep.
And now down he goes, and that's unfortunate because it was a brilliant interception.
I think it might have been his ankle. I think as he extended himself, the ankle, when he made contact with the turf, turned
awkward.
a bit. Yeah.
It looked awkward. But anyway, from that interception was Edwards' pass. It was a brilliant running behind the fullback from Tyrese Campbell, and the pass was even better. But the decision to cut that back to Hadmay was the right decision, and the shot was the right thing. It was just not the right shot. Low, down past the keeper. To his right was the shot for me.
You're on 2 goals. It's your first sniff at the pre-season.
You're not leaving that. You're not leaving it.
That.
And Carey looked at him like, mate, no, he's no way a striker's leaving that.
Well, everybody sharp in, take a breath with Lloyd Jones on the floor.
Yeah, do you know what? It's a real delicate balance, because you've got to get yourself in a position as a player where you're making those interceptions. You're reading the play. You're tight to the centre forward. You've read it. You've stepped down the side and you make the interception. But the way he lunged into it, it was definitely an overextension of the leg.
Well, Coe, the physio's just given the thumbs up to the bench, but I think Charlton aren't going to risk this. They're going to
no
bring
way
Alex Mitchell on, but the sign from Coe at note is good. He's fine, and the thumbs up is a good indication. But Charlton will not take chances with Lloyd Jones, understandably so, and so Alex Mitchell will come on.
Yeah. Correct decision for me.
100%. Southend take the throw. Back with Goodliff. Inside to Ralph. Sends the ball long. Mitchell's first involvement is to give Spasov a nudge. And then clear the ball away from it. I thought it was off for Spasov. I was convinced that was a Charlton throw, actually.
I think it was. I don't know how the linesman can give that from all the way down there. He's 50, 60 yards away.
But, Southend have a throw. And they thought about throwing it in long. Instead, they've gone short to Husin. Back out to the left-hand side. And Boys. Austin makes an overlap. Austin, ball into the box. Mitchell gets something on it. Will come all the way through. Shot coming in from Coker, and the second shot from Walker, taking a deflection, is away for a corner. I think that was Ramsey's lunge in to block the shot, the final shot. It's away for a Southend corner.
Yeah, bit of bravery there required. A couple of decent blocks. Manager will love to see that.
I think Doherty also in the tussle with when the first shot came in from Coker. It's just been checked by the referee and he's okay. So the corner will come in from Coker from the Southend right. Austin looking for a short one. It's ignored. It's sent in deep. Edwards can't get there, and then it looked like 2 things there. One, I think it was offside by Scott Morris, but he handballed it in, I think, Scott Morris. So it's a double whammy. 1, he was offside. 2, he's punched it in the back of the net, so he's booked.
Yeah.
Charlton have a free kick, but Edwards beaten on that far side up against Goodliff. Probably a mismatch in the first place with Goodliff the very tallest player in the box. Southend have got it back from the clearance, and it's on the left-hand side. Boys into the box. Walker. That's a good challenge coming in from Mitchell. And Charlton look to pounce on that as Campbell finds Apter on the right-hand side. Campbell trying to catch up with Apter on the overlap. Still Apter cuts back in on his left, and I think that might be a bit generous actually. Nowhere to go. He had 3 players expecting the cut inside. Took the ball off his toes. Apter goes to ground. Charlton have a free kick.
Yeah, I thought that was excellent from Campbell. A really good purposeful ball out to Apter, allowing him to control. And I think if he'd have driven inside immediately, because Campbell was desperately trying to get up on the outside with the overlap, if Apter had just driven inside and taken the defender and the covering defender in 3 or 4 yards, that would have just opened up a lovely channel to play Campbell down the line. But a little missed opportunity there. But he's drawn the free kick.
Coventry with it. Sends it into the box. Doherty gets something on it, but it's cleared away. And Walker just levers Edwards out of the way, but Ramsey's on hand to tidy up for Charlton. Out to Bell on the left-hand side. He's got nobody in front of him, Bell, so he's trying to go on his own. He's done superbly well, Amari Bell, on the left, and now he delivers the ball into the box. Goes beyond Hadme. Mitchell gets a touch tip back to Campbell. Campbell with the shot just wide of the puck. Well, I say just wide. 3 or 4 yards wide, but a good touch from Mitchell. He stayed up from the initial free kick.
Yeah, excellent work on this left-hand side from Bell. He didn't have any options other than to do what he did, which was chip it down one side, run the other. The delivery in was not bad. It was half cleared to the edge of the box. Like you say, Mitchell with a little toe to Campbell. And again, you can't expect Campbell to do anything other than take a touch and get his strike away. Technically, just dragged it across his body ever so slightly, and it was 3 or 4 yards wide, but decent power on the strike.
Indeed, with the goal kick, Mitchell meets it. Coventry the flick away, but it will go straight to Scott Morris. He just miscontrolled it, so Doherty's in hot pursuit of him, forcing him back to his keeper. Indeed, looking for options and sends it long. Looking for Scott Morris again, this time though. Marshalled by Edwards, who will allow the ball to go out of play for a Charlton throw. Good opportunity to thank everybody for their messages of concern for the pair of us getting up here.
It's not up, I'm worried about.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, there's a video about me climbing, ascending.
Yeah, that's got
the
to
heights.
make social media at some point. I'm not on it, but it's got to make it.
Give it time.
Just for a giggle.
Apparently, according to my sister, all the years in bunk beds has helped me out. I'm not sure that's true.
That's some pretty tall bunk beds.
Yeah, tell me about it. That's Ramsey getting caught in possession by Walker after dealing well initially with the throw in forward, but then does well to just marshal out of the play under pressure from Walker, who's probably looked one of Southend's brightest players in this game so far. He looks a physical presence, and
you've got to imagine he's going to be a handful in the national conference. You've got to imagine that he's up against a pretty strong back line here today, physically that is. But I think he'll have a little bit more joy in the national conference as the season goes on.
Charlton working across to the right-hand side, and Ramsey. Long ball forward, asking Hadme to pursue it. Almost ran into Goodliff. I think probably deliberately. He would have got a free kick, Goodliff, if he hadn't have dealt with that. Southend send it forward, only as far as Bell, who's annoyed at himself and tried to cushion the ball into Edwards' path, and he just got the angle wrong.
Yeah. But the positioning of the ball up is excellent. He's on the outside of the striker. The ball's played into the channel. That makes him favourite immediately to step in. I know he's angry that he didn't keep possession of the ball with a better pass out, but the positioning of a centre half and on that ball up initially was superb.
Scott Morris with the throw, goes backwards to Taylor. In turn goes back to his keeper. Looking to send it long through the Charlton middle. Mitchell gets his head to it. Good header as well. Coventry will pick it up for Charlton. Back out to Edwards. Forward to Campbell, who tried to let it run. Probably misjudged just how tight he was to the touchline there as he tried to turn away. Throwing to Southend.
I think what Connor Coventry's just done there is probably one of the most underestimated pieces of play that you'll see every Saturday, which is a centre midfielder reading a knockdown into midfield from a clearance from its own back line, one touch, and keeps possession to a player who's in a good position, which allows you to then play forward.
Well, Southend are coming forward until Ramsey puts his foot in, but it'll run to Spasov. It goes right to Coker, who'll take the shot, but comfortably over the bar from the Southend number 28. Charlton have a goal kick. But little flashes from the home side since the Addicts have gone 3-0 up.
Yeah, and that is the downside, actually, to scoring 2 in a couple of minutes and taking a 3-0 lead, is the game becomes a little bit loose. You know, there's gaps that shouldn't be there. And
I should imagine we're not a million miles away from the wholesale changes.
They're all standing up in the substitutes area, so I don't think we're far off.
Edwards will pick it up for Charlton. Ball in field's cut out by Scott Morris, but he diverts it into Coventry's path, out to Carey, cuts inside, looking for options. None immediately available, so it goes backwards to Bell.
Someone just tell him to turn. He was not under any pressure.
Yeah.
Turn, diagonal on to Apter.
Mitchell brings it forward. Just holds off on the pass, goes right to Ramsey. Ball forward, looking for Coventry, but it's gone beyond him, and it's picked up by Hussein. Ball inside, read by Mitchell well. Mitchell up to Ahadmi. Little lovely ball out to Apter on the right-hand side. Ahadmi's gone for the return through to centre. Apter, though, just took the wrong option, cut inside, and then allowed boys to get a challenge in. It'll be a throw to Charlton on the right.
Excellent first-time ball, actually around the corner from Ahadmi.
Apter with a throw into Coventry, turns inside, loses his man, but nowhere really to go from after that, and so has to go backwards. Bell to Mitchell. Mitchell, nothing ahead of him because every Charlton player was covered off, so he goes right to Ramsey, who's going to swing this out, looking for Campbell, who's drifted away to the left. Got ahead of his man. Edwards in support. Edwards will pick it up for Charlton on the left. Looking to go past his man, does so. Edwards lifts the ball into the box, but this is hung up nicely for the keeper to come out. And challenge needed a bit more on that cross, so now the keeper to claim. Yeah,
just got underneath it. It was never going to make its intended target. You can see what Hadmay just holding off at the far post.
Mitchell having to track this back, and Spassov just runs into the back of him. Yeah. Charlton have a free kick taken quickly. The referee doesn't like that. It's a moving ball.
Yeah, but I actually don't think he needed to blow his whistle at all. You know, it was a free kick. He's absolutely right, but the ball had bounced through to Kaminsky and just let the game flow. Now we've had a sticky period of 20 seconds when he could have, the ball actually bounced through Kaminsky. Let it go. We've seen well,
I think Southend are going to make a few changes, which is why the referee has now asked for the free kick to just hold off a bit. And this could be interesting.
Well, you're going to have to forgive us.
Well, I've got the names, so hopefully once the game progresses, I'll be able to tell you. But I can tell you that 28's going off, which is Coker. I think Walker just went up.
Yeah, 11's going off.
We'll update you with the players coming on as and when. I think one of them is Morton. The other player I can see there is Apaya Forson. And there's one more change, but I'll bring you up to speed with that one shortly. But I think it could be Kendall. But as I say, I'll keep you up. Yeah, it is Kendall.
22.
Try and take the free kick forward. It is the aforementioned Kendall who flicks it on to Spassov. Kendall gets it back. Just got it caught under his feet, and it's allowed Coventry to challenge, and it's run kindly for Edwards. Trying to return the favour to Coventry, but doesn't find its target. Taylor takes over out to Scott Morris. Scott Morris ball into the box, looking for Spassov. It's gone beyond him. Mitchell sort of allowed that to go beyond him as well, rather than get a touch. Apter clears it away. Hadme trying to get there, but Ralph will get there first. Ball inside to Austin. All the way across to Apaya Forson. Charlton back in numbers, forcing Southend back to Goodliff on the left side. And in turn goes back to his keeper, who just got that caught under his feet a little bit, which brought some amusement from the sidelines. Ralph sends the ball forward, looking for Kendall. There's something on it, but Mitchell just allows that to drop, and good pass to Coventry's. Outside of his boot was found Campbell on the left-hand side. Campbell looking to run at Taylor. Goes outside of him, but he's going to run out of room there. Taylor just gives him a nudge. He does well in the end, Campbell, to win a throw.
You don't often see outside of the rights 40 yards, do you? Decent ball from Connor Coventry. And I like the fact Campbell at least tried to go 1v1 positive. That's what he's got to get into. He's got to get into that stride pretty quickly.
Edwards just looking for options here. Bell provides it on the left-hand side still. Bell thought about sending it in. Kendall in close proximity, and the ball inside looking for Campbell's not found its mark, and Austin just puts a foot in, wins it back for Southend. But that's great pressure from Carey, he's won it back for Charlton. Doherty with a shot. Oh, it's a block from Goodliff. Apter will pick it up though, right edge of the penalty area. Cuts back in on his left. Finds Carey, trying to return the favour, but it's blocked. Coventry will pick it up for Charlton on the right-hand side though. Inside to Carey once more. Carey lifts the ball into the box. Doherty can't get there. It's cleared away. Ramsey picks it up for Charlton. Turns away from Spasov and finds Carey on the right. Carey looking for the best option. Nothing immediately in front, so goes back to Mitchell. He's got Bell to his left and also Kaminsky just behind. And it's found his way to Bell by the Charlton's keeper. Kendall trying to drag Bell backwards as well to turn away from trouble. Charlton defender. Back to Edwards. Doherty in support. Doherty again thought about an expensive ball looking for Apter, but decides instead to go to Ramsey. Ramsey, Doherty again coming short. He's got Carey to his right. Slightly behind him actually, which didn't really allow Carey to run onto the ball. So he's just had to hold station. Picks out Ramsey once more. Mitchell. He's got Bell to his right, but Kendall was close, so he decides instead to go back to Kaminsky. He chips it forward, looking for Ahadmi, and a little flick on there. The linesman has said that Ahadmi was coming back from an offside position. As the Charlton skipper just goes down on his haunches momentarily. But he's back up. Made of stern stuff. Greg Doherty. Ralph for Southend goes down the left-hand side looking for Kendall to run into the channel. Well marshalled by Mitchell. Kendall can only touch it and put it behind for a Charlton goal kick. We've had 69 minutes here at Roots Hall. It's 3-0 to the Addicts, 2 in the second half from Ahadmi. It's only Carey getting the first one after 18 minutes, so comfortable enough scoreline. Doesn't always tell the tale. Charlton almost certainly going to change players in the next few minutes, you would imagine. Although all the players that you would expect to come on have all disappeared in the change room, so I'm assuming they're putting the boots on or something. Kaminsky takes his time to get this ball clear, lifts it forward. Ahadmi comes short. Little cushioned header into Campbell. He's under pressure from Apaya Forson. Gets it back to Doherty. It's the Charlton skipper once more. Drills it across to Ramsey. It's a good ball. Finds Ramsey in space. Ramsey coming forward on that right-hand side. Still Kane Ramsey. Corner of the penalty area. Little touch into Carey. Well, he just had his heel clipped as he went to pull the trigger and then got his shot away eventually. But no power on that shot because of the little clip. But Charlton have it back. Campbell, little ball looking for Ahadmi, but he's put too much on that for Ahadmi to collect, and Southend clear it forward.
That's kind to say he's put too much on it. It's not where it should be, and it's those little things that you got up into the Championship, and it's those little balls into feet that are going to be, they don't feel like they're big moments, but when that should hit its target. It's wrong side, it's a rush pass, it should have resulted in a shot.
Edwards does really well to win the ball back for Charlton by intercepting the crossfield ball, and Campbell now picks it up for the Addicts. Lovely little bit of footwork to get past his man. Edwards again. Infield to Coventry. Coventry can pick out Apter on the right-hand side. Apter looking to take on Boys. Goes on the outside this time. That's a good ball into the box. Ahadmi can't get there though. The keeper just about gets there ahead of him. First time I've seen Apter go past his man rather than cut inside.
And you know what? Part of being able to open up the inside channel is having the ability to go on the outside channel to so you're not predictable.
Oh yeah, Apter's done well again to win the ball back. But Charlton's found Ahadmi. Oh, he tried to go right to Coventry. Got that wrong, but the referee spotted it back for the foul on Apter. And I should say that I said that the Charlton bench had cleared. No, I assumed they'd gone in the bench. They'd all gone down there.
They were absolutely standing. I almost said to you, like hell of a warm up they're doing. Not one of them was looking in that direction. Not one of them was moving. Not one of them was stretching. They were just literally like a spectator on the sidelines.
I can't look right because of the drop.
Well, yeah.
Vertigo are kicking.
Oh mate, is our mate still down there? Yeah, he is. Yeah. I just wonder if we can get away with not having to put that harness back on. I'm gonna dive down without it. See if I get told off.
I might put it on. I thought I looked good in it.
Oh dear. Anyway, free kick Charlton. I'm not sure you can allow play.
It did go a while, didn't it?
Yeah.
Is there a number of second rule? I'm not sure. But it's Coventry with the free kick, and he sends it in. Doherty can't get there. It's cleared away. Edwards meets it, heads it forward. Cleared once more. Again, Edwards with the header. Kendall gets something in the way of this, and he's pursued it himself, Coventry, and pulls him back by Schultz. He might get a booking for that, Connor Coventry.
He will.
And does. Quite rightly so. They have a little chuckle about it, the pair of them, as they retreat away from the referee. And here is the raft of Charlton subs.
The pad's not big enough to deal with this.
I can see Zach Mitchell coming on. I can see Kane Ramsey making his way to the touchline, so you'd imagine he'll make way. Zach Mitchell is on. Ramsey is off. Apter and Carey also drifting across to that far touchline, as is Campbell. So Apter and Carey both off. I think Southend have made a change as well, which I'll update you with in a second. But I can tell you that Anderson is on, as is Fuller. Coventry's off. Gillespie looks like he's going to make his way on. Amari Bell looks like he's staying on, as does no Edwards and Doherty. They just checked their walk across because they thought they were staying on, but they're not. Meeker and Bick is coming on. Bennett is on, which was one of the Charlton trialists last week. I shall try and inform you of who the other one is very shortly. Gillespie is on. Southend have a free kick. Swung into the Charlton box. Gillespie rises, gets something on it, but it drops to Scott. Decent block coming in there, several in fact, and then the final shot from Goodliff is over. Scott Morris with the initial shot, and then it was in and around the 6-yard box. Nobody able to get too much on it until Goodliff lifts it over the bar. It'll be a Charlton goal kick.
Yeah, initially a very good header from Gillespie backpedaling, but the ball fell to Scott Morris. As you said, it was a very good volley, technically super. Got on top of the ball, drove it down Kaminsky's throat, and all he could do was palm it back into the 6-yard box, which we eventually managed to see it go wide of the far post and have the goal kick.
Well, Charlton bursting forward now. It's Alan Mwamba. Oh, and his ball looking for Bick. Just got the angles wrong.
Yeah.
But,
those are the moments where the pitch opens up like that. You can't let opponents off. You know, you've got to make sure that ends with an end product.
Fuller wins the ball back for Charlton. It's Hadmi back out here to Bennett on the left-hand side. Gillespie on hand behind for Charlton. Mitchell forward to Hadmi. Just a little bit loose control, and then Goodliff just goes straight through him.
That's a poor challenge.
And it's a poor challenge at any level, but for a pre-season friendly, it's a terrible one.
Yeah, and it's 75 minutes in, and
yeah, I was going to say
you just don't need it.
Coventry gets a book in, that one had to.
Yeah, it's not so much. Like, I'm looking at Nathan, because as a manager, you've sat there and you've watched this game unfold. You're relatively pleased without how it's unfolded. It's a good workout. What you don't need to see is opposition players start to go through the back of yours. He won't like that.
Well, Charlton take the free kick, and it's into the feet of Anderson. Ball forward's a long one. And into the box. Bick looking for it, but it's gone over his head, which is some feat actually when you think about it. Lembekisa, the other trialist, was the one trying to find him.
Yeah, well, it's a good run down that right-hand side, and then an exquisite pass from Croy Anderson from deep to get it in behind the Southend back line. It was an excellent bit of play.
Southend have it on the right-hand side. Scott Morris down the line, just stays in. Gillespie comes across though, clears it away. And Bick looking for it, but he can't get there. It's cleared once more by Southend. Mitchell on hand to deal with this. Back to Kaminsky. Gillespie down the line. Fuller can't keep hold of it, and it's Scott Morris for Southend. Back to Goodliff. Out to the left-hand side now. Anderson putting pressure on Morton, who's on. And there's a clash in the air between Zach Mitchell and whoever's come on for Southend, and I'll update you shortly. But, Southend fans at least, and only Ralph, I think it was the player, went down.
Ventured forward, so it was, look, a defender's going to go for that 100%.
It's a good ball out from Fuller to find Nembakisa on the right-hand side. Looking to go past his man. Nembakisa does a good ball into the box, just behind Mbik, but it will come out to Anderson. Will he take the shot? Anderson, no. He lifts the ball back in, looking for Hadmi, who headers it to Fuller. He's trying to pick out Mbik, but cleared away by Morton. And there's another tussle down there, this time Spasov and Anderson. It's gone out of play for a Southend throw. The referee's not winning any
he's
popularity contests at the minute.
No, Kevin Mad of Southend, and just having a little word with the ref about the challenge from.
It was Perillon who was up in the air on.
It was what?
Perillon is the player who was challenged, I think, with Zach Mitchell.
What, in that corner?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why Ralph was coming back from that left wing spot, but the point being that Zach Mitchell had to make a play for that ball, and I didn't see anything wrong with the challenge personally.
Ball's tussling around in that midfield area, so then come away with it, but that wasn't until Mwamba put his foot in. Zach Mitchell then tidies it back to Kaminski, who sends it forward. And Vic looking for it, but it doesn't reach him, but it'll drop Fuller's way. Fuller trying to send Mbakisa through. Just got it cut out by Ralph before he can find him. Now Bennett looking interesting, but Taylor does well for Southend to make sure he can't get there. And it's with Ralph on the left-hand side. At 79 minutes, we're in 3-0 up Charlton. It's a switched ball looking for Scott Morris. Bennett reads it, gets a foot in. And a touch from Fuller's a little heavy. And so Gillespie's going to have to tidy that up, and does. Mwamba available for a short little pass. It's gone back to Kaminski now for Mwamba. Ball up to a Hadmi. It's just gone beyond him. Wanted it at his feet, the Charlton striker, and it went to his right. Allowed Southend to clear it away. Bennett with the header. Anderson should pick this up. Zach Mitchell's also there, but it is Karoy Anderson bringing it forward. It's a great run from Fuller down the left-hand side. And, the ball just couldn't find him. It was cut out by Taylor. But it's good work from Fuller to win it back for Charlton. Fuller bringing it forward. To his right, it is Mbik. Mbik thought about pulling the trigger, gets back out one side now, cuts it across and cleared away by Taylor before Hadmi can get on the end of that. Good work between Mbik and Fuller.
Yeah,
that's
work. Better from Fuller. Fuller's decent player. Got high hopes for him as a prospect. And just one or two in just two instances there. That one excellent. Drove past his opponent and found a decent pass into feet to Mbik. And just moments before he did exactly the same, but the pass was just a little bit wayward. And if there's one bit of advice you pass on as you step up the leagues, those little moments in League One and you misplace a pass, it gets intercepted, you're going to get another chance because it's League One. As you progress, you go Championship, and certainly when you go to Premier League, those 5-yard passes that I keep saying to you, that's you'll overhit that and all that. They've got to find the target because you don't necessarily get as many chances as you progress through the leagues. And it's vital that when you're in a position and you're under no pressure, that pass isn't wasteful. That was excellent from Fuller.
Anderson was guilty of exactly that just now and gave away a throw-in, but Charlton have won it back since then, and Anderson was at the heart of winning it back. And Mitchell will now send it forward for Charlton, looking for a Hadmi. Gets his header to it, but there's nobody in close enough attendance to benefit. Scott Morris can clear it away up towards Kendall. Gillespie with the challenge, but can only pick out a player Forlan who's gone past. Fuller, ball out left to Spasov, into the box. Spasov, Mitchell trying to stay strong, gets a block in as well. Zach Mitchell to stop the attempted cross shot. It's away for a corner.
Yeah, well, I'm a fan of his. I like the fact he went up north on loan last season, showed a bit of grit, but he showed outside, let the opponent take the outside channel and then narrowed it up and made sure that he made the block. Excellent defending from Zach.
Corner though to Southend on their left-hand side, the far side as we look. Swung into the box, Kaminski can't get it, but Mitchell on hand to head it clear. Got good distance on it as well. Southend though, still in possession on their left-hand side. Swung in to the Charlton penalty area. This time Ahadmi meets it, skies it up in the air a little bit, and Apaya fall on, knocks it into the box, and then is taken out really by Ahadmi. And I'm surprised the referee didn't look at that. And then Kaminski with 2 Charlton players struggling after that launch from Ahadmi, including Ahadmi himself, puts the ball out of play. Will Southend give this back? Jack Bridge, who's also come on sub just now, will take the throw. Whether they'll give it back to Charlton, because I don't think they're convinced that Kaminski put it out deliberately.
Sorry, Joe, the guttering's just collapsed.
Don't lean on the guttering.
No, I nearly went over then. Sorry, a little squeal.
I thought you.
Oh my God!
I thought you'd gone in the opposite direction.
No, I put my arm.
It'd be more of a little squeal, to be fair.
Yeah.
3 more changes for Southend, and we'll catch up with them very shortly. One player coming on, I can see, is George Wind. The next one is centre half change. Crowther is on, and he's a unit. He's on for Taylor, I think. Throw comes in, goes back to Bridge. Attempted ball into the box is blocked by Limbakisa. It's back with Apaya Forson. Central position, lifts the ball to the far edge of the area. There's a header coming in from Goodliff. Morton now for out to Goodliff again. Mitchell gets the header away, and then there's a Southend player down. I think it's Perillan again.
Yeah, he got flattened off the ball.
Didn't see who it was.
No, but it doesn't matter, and it needs. Let's not talk about that. A little professional bump there off the ball. Don't mind that, to be fair. Used to go on an awful amount.
Perillan stayed down in the box. He looks poleaxed, actually. he looks out flat.
Yeah, I
think it was a decent connection. Whoever did it.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying for one moment there was a illegal arm, but as a centre half, a centre forward tries to make a run across you, and all you're doing is put your body in the way. And if he hits your body, that's different than you hitting him, and that's all that happened there. Centre half just making sure he's in the space that the centre forward wants to go into, and then taking the hit. And obviously the Southend players come off worse.
So we've.
I think it's Spasov, actually. And he's a bit of a unit.
Is it Spasov? It is, you're right, actually. It is. You're looking at the number.
I wouldn't have known until I saw the number.
Until he sat up, yeah, exactly. I thought it was Perillan, but it's not. It is Spasov. Lying on his back, he was out cold. Looked like he was out cold. Now, if he was out cold, they've surely got to take him off, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, this friendly's done exactly what most pre-season friendlies do. Job's done after 60, 70, 75 minutes, and then you have the multiple changes, and it just drifts into a bit of a end-to-end game. But job done for Nathan and the team. 70 minutes out the majority of the side that started. Changes, little look at some of the younger players as they come on.
Well, Spasov's up on his feet, which is good.
No, he felt that. Something similar happened to me in one of my first games when I was in the dressing room before the game. And, set piece goes up and it said Brown marking Pearce, Stuart Pearce. And I thought, he's not renowned for his set piece. He's not. First corner comes in and I'm grabbing him and I'm pulling his shirt. And as the cross comes in, I got my eye on it. Next thing, and I was looking at the sky.
He's taking you out.
Oh, mate, I had a cheekbone doubled in size. I never went near him after that, and that's the whole point. The whole point is physically, he gave me a warning shot, and then I was a bit wary.
Charlton looks to go cross field, and Vic can't get there. Anderson will pick it up though for Charlton. He's got Limbakisa out to his right hand side. Limbakisa on trial for Charlton, cuts inside, lifts the ball over, looking for Fuller. A little bit too much on the ball, but Fuller will catch it up before it goes out of play. Goes to take his man on Wind, and Wind goes to ground. Still Fuller in possession. He's got Bennett in support. Bennett ball into the box. It goes straight across the penalty area and cleared away. Mwamba with the header. And Limbakisa brings it down well. Sorry, I bet it's Anderson. Limbakisa ahead of him, looking for the ball, but Anderson couldn't find him. Has to go backwards. Going to have to tell Anderson and Limbakisa if they're playing together to wear different boots or something, because they look identical, the pair of them. It's good tracking back from Bennett to win the ball back for Charlton. Fuller finds Anderson. It's a good ball to Mitchell, who made himself available, and Mitchell's got space to run into now. Zach Mitchell. He's got Lembakisa out to his right-hand side. And it's Lembakisa now. Going to go past his man, does so. Ball into the box. It's blocked by Bridge and away for a Charlton corner.
Yeah, really good anticipation from Zach Mitchell, seeing that his mate was coming across the pitch, turned in the centre of midfield, and he stepped in from that right-sided centre-half position really, really early to put himself on offer as a pass. And once that pass was made, he had 30 yards to drive into. The second phase of that is that you don't, like we spoke about earlier, you're not wasteful with it. He drove 30 yards and then found the player on his outside. Corner Charlton.
Swung in by Bennett, it's a low one. Had me with a little flick, trying to get his third, and it's come off the Southend man. It should be another corner, and it is. Just found her up way, because I should caveat that Anderson and Lembakisa thing by saying we are high up, so from this distance, they both got the same length hair. They're both ponytails. Fortunately now Lembakisa's socks are rolled down, so that might help me as Mbik goes for the corner. It's cleared away. Fuller with a slightly wayward touch, and allows Lembakisa though to help his man out, tidy up, back to Kaminski. Lembakisa goes for the return. Looks to switch it across as Gillespie stayed forward, and Gillespie picks it up for Charlton. Inside of him is Mwamba. Mwamba trying to find space. Zach Mitchell behind. Gillespie once more. Looks to crossfield. Mitchell had stayed forward. Drops it to Ahadmi, who goes for the shot. He'll go for this one again, but it's cleared away. Fuller picks it up for Charlton. Goes past Bridge. That's lovely footwork from Fuller. Takes the shot, but straight to the keeper.
Yep.
Lovely footwork to create the space, but then couldn't apply the finish.
Yeah, I'm more impressed by the work rate once the shot gets saved. He's done a 60-yard sprint to get back into position, but yeah, that's exquisite footwork from the young man. Manoeuvred from a position of under pressure to getting himself half a yard and a shot at goal. And he was quite annoyed with himself, actually, that he didn't beat.
Well, anybody who's seen Ibrahim Fuller in the under-21s or 18s will know he's got that in his locker to finish goals from that distance. And at that angle, he's scored some absolute crash. Well, I think you've probably given him goal of the month.
We have on a couple of occasions, certainly have. And that's why he was annoyed with himself. It was a relatively easy save for the keeper in the end from a position where he would have expected to curl it towards that right-hand post.
Well, it was El Mwamba to concede the free kick, which Southend will now send into the Charlton penalty area, and it's gone straight through. Zach Mitchell just gets something on it, and Bennett will clear it. Well, actually, if they clear it away, he's just skied it up in the penalty area, and it may well be a penalty. He's just gone straight through Kendall.
That is
Bennett.
a penalty.
That should be a penalty, I'm afraid.
That is a penalty.
How he's got away with that, I have no idea.
Can't just launch into the back of an opponent without winning anything.
Kendall stayed down, and then the next ball into the box has gone straight to Kaminski. The referee has blown for full time with Kendall still lying in the penalty box. It wouldn't have made any difference to the scoreline, but it's a question that I'm sure the Southend people will be asking as to why that wasn't. But it's finished here, and it's finished with a 3-0 victory to Charlton. And goals, if you are just joining us, if you hadn't seen them all, it was Sonny Carey who opened the scoring when he found himself, or ran into the box, found the space to run into the box and turned and shot. Little deflection off the defender, good lift to open the scoring for Charlton. And then after Ahadmi had come on for Kelman in the second half, he got 2 goals in 2 minutes. First one a header, finding himself some space in the box, and then the second a similar one where he just managed to get on the end of what we think was a shot rather than a cross from Campbell, but got the important touch for Charlton's third, and that's the way it's finished here this afternoon. And well, your thoughts on the game itself, and then I've got a couple of other questions for you, Brownie, because we're up here for a while. We're not leaving. Your thoughts on the I mean, the pre-season, of course, you don't read too much into it, minutes and legs and all that, but your thoughts.
An excellent workout from start to finish. No injuries, I don't think. We've got the Jones extension that saw him leave the pitch, but I wouldn't think that's anything to worry about. I thought it was the right decision to take him off. And in terms of what you need out of a game, I think there was a little bit of everything for Nathan there. I thought we started the second half particularly well. We got Apter into the game on that right-hand side, who started to look a little bit more dangerous. A couple of goals for Hadmay, which will do him no harm whatsoever. I guess he's in one of those positions where is he looking? Is he half looking at this window, thinking, I'm not going to play here? You know, so it's important for him that he comes on, and when he comes on, he does exactly what he's done today. Whether his future's here, it'd be great if it is. If it's not, he's done himself no harm today. But what I would say from a Charlton perspective is, you know, in terms of looking at next Saturday, is that you've got everybody through, you know, and you've scored a few goals, you've kept another clean sheet, and by and large, Nathan will be pretty happy, I think. You know, one or two details that he'll want sharpened up for next Saturday, but by and large that's exactly what you need from the last pre-season friendly.
Right, before I let you go, before we show the highlights, just a couple of questions for you, Brownie. Firstly, obviously Watford first game next season. Brilliant atmosphere it's going to be, because largest opening day crowd for 16 years. What do you think, Nathan Jones, I think the chances are for Charlton in that game, opening game of the Championship, back in the Championship? And secondly, where do you think, you know, what are you thinking for the season? Is that too soon to say?
No, it's not too soon to say, because my thought process hasn't changed. My thought process is we've taken longer than we should have done as a League One club to get out of League One. My thought process was still going to be, we have to stay in the Championship. It's as simple as that. Now, what that looks like will be determined by how these players set about their work and settle down as a group. Could it be we exceed all expectations and push for a playoff place? That would be unbelievable, be great. But ultimately, I would just like to be a Championship club next season and watch this squad build, watch Nathan develop into a very good Charlton manager and be given the licence to grow this squad and develop it over time. That's always, I think, when I look at a club and I look at a situation, can that club be, you know, can it progress slowly rather than bust and boom, or boom and bust? You know, we see that far too often. So for me, it's Championship status for the following year and grow the squad. That one will not change for me, regardless of how the transfers look, regardless of what the outside people are saying, regardless of what our fans are saying. You're asking me the question, that's how I see it. Championship status for next season, and if this team gels and we exceed that and we start to push into the top half of the table, fantastic. I'd love to see it. In terms of Saturday, Watford's a bit of an unknown quantity. I think they've got a change of manager. They've got a lot of players that people are not too aware of. You know, in terms of who they've signed, they could be dreadful, they could be brilliant, who knows? But we've got to focus on us. We have got the home advantage. We have got Sir Christopher coming back. You know, I worked a few days on. Oh, listen, it wasn't easy either, because Chris will get offered work immediately as it breaks that he's leaving Sheffield Wednesday. He's getting offered television work left, right, and centre. You know, and that took 2 or 3 days to get that one over the line, and I used every ounce of our friendship to make sure that happened, and hopefully that creates a bit of a buzz before the game. I'm sure we'll present him to the crowd. It'll be 22,000, I guess, maybe a little bit more by the time we get round to it, and hopefully that they can crank up the atmosphere and get that team, you know, in a position where it's absolutely firing on all cylinders to go as we kick off. But yeah, it would be great if we started with a little win.
Wouldn't it just?
Yeah, wouldn't it just? And I'd implore everybody to get yourself down the valley. If you haven't bought a ticket, you know, there should be a cracking little atmosphere leading up to that game.
Indeed, it will be a cracking day to look forward to. And before we leave you with the highlights, first of all, my thanks, of course, to Deanna in production, to Robin up here with us on camera. Dan, the analyst, is up here as well. He's got to get down somehow. And of course, my thanks to Brownie, who you can catch in due course. Next up, Brownie will be joined the rest of the Charlton TV legends for a preview show. I think we're expecting to air that on Thursday, so catch up with that on Charlton TV. And then, of course, our big game, Sky Bet Championship, Watford, 12:30 kick-off on Saturday, with Charlton TV coverage starting from midday. If you can't be at the Valley, do join us on Charlton TV. So it only remains to me to thank you for watching and listening. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll spend a week getting down from here, I think. So hopefully we'll be down in time to get to the Valley. We'll see.
There's pictures circulating of me and you stranded up here, mate. I'm getting them through now.
We might be on Charlton TV giving you the full coverage of Southend's first home fixture.
There's actually people begging for us to be videoed on the way down.
You're cruel.
So, yeah,
You're just cruel.
wicked. People
Absolutely
are wicked.
Cruel. We'll leave you with the highlights. In the meantime, take care, everybody. Ta-da.
Oh no.